love you, Rhonda.
Van!
Oh, good morning, Van.
Mrs. H, if Cheyenne asks, I was not out driving my new sports car. She hates her.
Van? Hey, Mom, have you seen... Van, where have you been?
Here, the whole time, reading. Yeah. The caterpillar turns into a butterfly? I did not see that coming.
Hey, Van, is that the book where the caterpillar drives his fancy Mustang?
I knew
Oh,
it!
yeah, Mrs. H.
Van, you have to choose. It's me or Rhonda.
Rhonda?
Whoa, Van named his car Rhonda. You ever met a Rhonda that wasn't after your man, Mom?
Nope.
And the worst part is, he won't even let me drive it.
Her. Drive her.
And now we have to go pick up Elizabeth, and since Rhonda doesn't have back seatbelts, we have to borrow your car again.
Oh, no, not again. You guys never fill it up. And the other day, there was a taco underneath my seat.
That doesn't make it yours.
Van, we're parents now. We should have a car like Mom's. It's practical and boring and responsible and beige.
Harvest Gold.
Harvest beige.
It's true, Mrs. H. Your car's a dull, beige, yawn-mobile, but we need to borrow it.
Okay, fine. Take my beige, boring car. Might not be hot and sexy, but by golly, you can put 3 bags of fertilizer in the trunk.
It's real pretty, Jake. By the way, chicks love that.
Hey, Mom.
Hey,
I need to ride to basketball practice.
Jake, Van and Cheyenne just took my car. You gotta tell me these things.
Okay. Mom, I need to ride to basketball practice.
We'll just take Van's car. It's right outside.
I don't think Van wants anybody driving his car.
Did he specifically tell you not to?
No.
Then it's not a rule. Just like you never specifically told him he can't eat peanut butter straight from the jar.
He uses a spoon, right?
He kind of makes one with his fingers.
Oh, gross! Come on, Jake. As soon as I drop you off, Rhonda and I are gonna go buy some peanut butter.
Who's Rhonda?
Guy with a family buys a silly car like this.
I think it's cool.
It's not cool. It's not bad. Hey there, cowboy. I'm gonna name you Ron.
My roots are planted in the past, though my life is changing fast. Who I am is who I wanna be. A single mom who works too hard, who loves her kids and never stops, with gentle hands and the heart of a fighter. I'm a survivor.
Hey, Mom.
Hey.
So, Jake said you were driving really fast. He thinks you're cool.
Well, I may have had to teach a punk in a Camaro a little lesson when the light turned green.
Hey, Mom. Guess what? We need to borrow your car again. Guess why?
Here are a few clues. Van, Rhonda, dumb move.
No problem. Here you go.
All right.
We're family, and families share. I share my car with you, and who knows, maybe Van one day will share his car with me.
Apples and oranges.
So, when are we going for a ride?
Oh, no. Sneaking Van's car is my thing.
Well, all right, but it would be a shame if Van found out somehow.
You wouldn't.
Why not? I'm from a broken home.
Fine, but you gotta wear that.
A scarf? Mom, come on.
Oh, yeah. Rhonda has a dress code. Oh, well, wow, look who's back. How'd it go?
I hate basketball. I had to guard a girl.
Yeah, little Zoe Levin lit him up like a Christmas tree. So, what's with the get-ups?
Well, it's,
Mother-daughter day.
yeah.
Where? In the 50s?
No, at the Scarf Museum. It's great if you're into scarves.
I want to go.
No, you don't.
Yeah, well, we better hurry. First 100 people get a new scarf.
But Dad.
As long as you are my son, you are not going to the Scarf Museum.
Jake's right. I am cool. Did you see that guy's face? He didn't want to race me.
It was a school bus, Mom.
I had a kid with me, too. Didn't make me a chicken. Oh, wait a second. It was closer to the garage.
Be careful, Mom.
Stop telling me to be careful. Oh! Please tell me I hit you. How bad is it?
Oh, I don't think it even made it. Oh, good Lord, there it is.
Oh, no. What are we gonna do?
We weren't driving. You were driving.
Oh, no, you were my accomplice.
Yeah, when we were on the road, but when we're standing on the driveway, I'm just an eyewitness. She did it, officer.
You distracted me. If you hadn't taken the trash out, those trash cans wouldn't have been there.
You told me to.
And you did it? What's up with that?
Fine, blame the teenage daughter.
No. I'm the adult. I was driving. I'll take responsibility.
Maybe you don't even have to tell Van.
Yes, I have to. It's the right thing to do.
Is it really? Think about it, Mom. Van loves that this car was in perfect condition, and now that there's a scratch on it, that love will be tainted. Tainted love. They've written songs about it.
Kira, I've been stalling Van for an hour. He wanted to go out to drive, but I told him he had to clean the attic. Have you found a body shop yet?
Yeah, Hank Bender, the auto mender. Guaranteed to fix your fender. In under an hour. Which didn't rhyme, but it's good time. We can have it done by 5.
Let's go. Where's the keys? Where's the car?
Well, wherever they are, I bet they're together. If the car's not out there, then he must be out driving it.
I'm not out driving.
Van. Oh, I thought you were up cleaning the attic.
Yeah, Mrs. H. What's the rush with the attic all of a sudden?
Well, Van, if the stuff that I stored away and forgot about is dirty, then why would I bother keeping it?
So, where's your car?
Well, I let Barbara Jean borrow.
Barbara Jean? I thought you had a rule nobody could drive your car.
Oh, there's no rule. You just need to sign the Rhonda Pledge. It's a simple 6-page document. And you know why she signed it? Because she gets it.
Gets what?
About a week ago, Rhonda and I spotted each other across a crowded used car lot and made a very special connection. And yet everybody has been really critical, especially you and Cheyenne.
Sorry, we didn't know Rhonda could hear.
Oh, we hear. The comments, the looks of scorn, we hear them, and they hurt.
You hear the looks of scorn?
I heard that one!
Van! Reba! Van! Oh, thanks a million for letting me borrow Rhonda.
No thanks necessary, Barbara Jean. See page 4 of the pledge. Well, I'm gonna go for a spin.
Oh, wait! Van, did you, vacuum the attic?
Mrs. H, did I vacuum the attic?
Yeah.
Did I vacuum the attic?
Oh, I put a huge scratch on Van's car.
Where, back left?
Yeah, how'd you know?
Lucky guess.
Oh. Oh, Reba, why me? What have I done to deserve this?
It's almost like God is punishing you for stealing my mom's husband.
Kira, I think we've moved past that.
Well, of course we have. I mean, me taking Brock is what brought us all together. You know, it's what turned us into one big happy family, right?
Yeah, until you wrecked Van's car.
Oh gosh, Van is gonna lose it when he finds out I wrecked his car.
He really is. He gets that look where his two eyebrows merge together, and he looks like that Muppet that lives in the trash can.
Barb Jean, even though I know this is totally your fault, I'm willing to help out. Now, go ask Van to borrow his car again. We'll take it down to Hank Bender's auto shop, and he can have it ready by 5.
How do you know that?
Well, it's Hank Bender. He's a legend. Go, and don't mention this to anybody.
Not a word.
Great.
I scratched Van's car.
You scratched Van's car?
Yeah. Oh, why did I sign that ever-loving pledge?
Go ask Van for his car again.
Okay. All right. Do I look guilty?
Not at all.
Good.
It was me. I scratched Van's car.
Whoa. What? You?
Yeah, I was walking by her and she gave me one of those smug looks, so I whacked her with my purse.
On the back left?
Yeah, how'd you know?
Lucky guess.
Look, Mom, Van is gonna freak out on me.
Okay, it doesn't matter who scratched the car. No matter who scratched the car, Barbara Jean scratched the car.
Okay, got it.
Oh, I can't face him. Oh, my jaw hurts.
Stop grinning. Okay, look, we'll take it down to the body shop. If Van comes down from the attic, distract him.
All right, but hurry. At some point, we're gonna run out of shiny objects.
You know, now that I look at it, I don't see how that old lady gonna put that scratch here.
Oh, yeah, they're cagey. Yeah, let's get out of here before Van.
Hey!
Van!
Yeah, it's me, Van.
How? What are you doing?
Well, it's 2:15. Every day at this time, I wipe her down with a chamois. Sweet. What are you guys doing?
Bird watching. Woodpecker, nature's lumberjack.
Van, you need to go inside right now.
Why?
Bird watching. Look, a squirrel.
Cheyenne's got a surprise for you inside.
Really? Oh, I love surprises.
No.
Okay. Be back, honey.
Nature's lumberjack?
I know. That's the beaver. I panicked.
Hey, there you are. So? Well?
I think the score is tied.
Should I keep my eyes closed?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hold on, honey.
We told him you were going to give him a surprise.
I don't have a surprise.
Well, then make up something.
Ta-da!
Oh my gosh! Tissues? This is my big surprise. Is there something underneath there? Is there something
It's for your car.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, for your car. Remember the other day when we were driving and you sneezed and you didn't have a tissue? Ta-da!
Yeah, it's a great gift. You always see those people driving, having nose trouble.
Yeah.
What a better world it would be if everybody had a tissue when they needed it. Achoo!
Hey, Van, guess what I just saw?
Not now, okay, buddy?
I'd be in a bad mood too if there was a huge scratch on my car.
What?
There's a huge scrape on your car.
Show me.
Maybe he's okay with it.
How come could you?
You're the one who scratched his car?
Okay, all right. I have something to say. Kira and I
Went to the Scarf Museum, which is not as exciting as it sounds.
Yeah, well, I was just about to say that's the original paint job. Which means that it's old paint, which can't be very expensive. So how's $10?
$10? $10 stinks.
Van, calm down. It's no big deal.
No big deal. Mrs. H, no big deal. What if somebody borrowed your... What is something you love?
Peanut butter.
Well, there you go. What if somebody borrowed your peanut butter? You throw me off by saying peanut butter. And I know you know I use my fingers.
Van, we will pay whatever it takes to get your car fixed.
Up to $10.
Barbara Jean, who's gonna repair the scratch in my soul? Because you put that scratch there. And the worst part is you signed the Rhonda pledge. I want to hear it. Say it with me. I hereby
promise to uphold sanctity.
Say it!
I didn't read it. I just skimmed it.
Well, you should never sign anything without reading it.
Van, stop torturing the woman. The truth is...
It was me! I scratched Rhonda with my purse. And I'm glad I did it.
You did it? Mm-hmm. My own flesh and blood by marriage?
Yeah, and you were just gonna let me take the blame? Oh, Rhonda was right about you.
Look, I was jealous, okay? Van talks about this car like it is another woman. Okay, it's driving me nuts. It's just a stupid car.
Whoa. Easy, honey. That's the man's car you're talking about.
I shall never trust you or forgive you again.
Shall? Mm-hmm. Shall? Since when do you say shall, you big jerk?
All right, everybody just calm down. This has gone far enough.
I'm a jerk. I got a scratch in my car, and I'm a jerk. Well, I think anybody who puts the scratch there with her purse shall be a jerk.
Stop saying shall.
Shall. Who are you, Cheyenne? I mean, what else don't I know about you?
Oh, well, you obviously don't know that I won't take a back seat to your car.
That's very confusing.
You know what I meant.
No, I don't.
Oh, come on, Van, lay off.
Your wife skimmed my pledge.
6 pages, single space. Oh, come on!
Rhonda is tearing us apart.
How could you hit her with
All
I did it. I scratched your car. Not you. Me!
I don't believe you.
Me too! I've been sneaking out your car. I've been lying to everybody. I'm the bad one. Kira was there. Ask her.
Kira, is it true?
It's true. And there is no Scarf Museum.
What?
And even if there was, no.
You know, when I stepped on the gas pedal and that engine roared, it spoke to me. It said, drive me, you sexy redhead.
It was you.
No way. She's too responsible.
That's why I did it. You all see me as this responsible, sensible person that would never do anything dangerous, wild, or fun. Well, guess what? I'm not beige. There's a side of me that has a need for speed.
Reba?
Oh, yeah.
Side of me that needs to burn rubber.
You burned Rhonda's rubber?
You put that baby into gear, crank up the stereo, forget all your troubles, and show that punk in a Camaro a thing or two.
Mom?
Wow.
Reba?
I shall never look at you the same way again.
Van, I'm sorry I dinged your car. But I get it now. Rhonda and me, well, we're just two bad girls looking for trouble. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have to go bake brownies for Jake's field trip.
Since when does Mom wear a scarf when she bakes?
Never. Where are my keys? Mrs. H, you have to sign the pledge!
back. Me.
Hey, did you have fun?
Oh, you should have seen me. I hit 10 free throws in a row. I was like, 1, 2, 3.
You can tell me about the next 8 after you take a shower, Stinky.
Hey. Guess who got fan mail?
Is it me?
Why would you get fan mail?
People like me.
Oh, wow, look at you, you big stud.
Stud? Well, according to this young lady, I'm like a song of sparrow. Familiar yet different and wonderful each time it's heard.
Should I be jealous?
I wouldn't worry. She doesn't get out of prison for another 8 to 10 years.
Please, no, please.
Nope.
Please.
Well, okay.
Really?
No.
Mom, this is so unfair. I never get to see Scott because of your stupid rule that we have to be with a group.
Haha, look. You're 14, he's 17. If you round that off, you're 10, he's 20. Sorry.
This is all your fault, you know.
How is this my fault?
Because they trusted you, and look what happened.
Oh, give me a break, Kara. You're 14. I didn't get pregnant until I was 17.
You're right. Honor roll, straight A's. I brought this on myself.
We'll be your group.
What?
Yeah, Van and I will go out with you and Scott. It'll be fun.
For who?
Oh, come on, Kara. We never get to hang out together.
Let's not ruin that.
Why not? Van and I are cool.
No, your parents, which makes you, by definition, not cool.
Not cool? Well, a certain young lady in cell block C would disagree.
Yeah. And besides, having a baby does not automatically make you a parent.
Hey, Reba.
Hey, Barbara Jean, Kira's in the kitchen.
Oh, I didn't come to get Kira. I came to talk to you.
Oh, that's too bad. You just missed me.
I need to ask you a question that's a bit awkward.
Do you have to? Don't we already have enough uncomfortable moments between us? Besides, I have a headache, and I'm pretty sure it's from the last time we spoke.
How did Brock act when he and I were sneaking around behind your back?
When, who, what?
I think Brock's having an affair.
And just like that, my headache's gone.
My roots are planted in the past, though my life is changing fast. Who I am is who I wanna be. A single mom who works too hard, who loves her kids and never stops, with gentle hands and the heart of a fighter. I'm a survivor.
So you think Brock's having an affair and you figure I'm the one to come talk to about this?
Well, I don't know anyone else he's cheated on.
And just like that, the headache's back.
I'm sorry. I know this is just terrible, but it's driving me crazy. Lately, we have been fighting a lot, and now he's being all secretive.
See, that's the problem with marrying the guy you had an affair with. It destroys the trust. Look, I'm sure there's a perfectly good explanation for whatever he's done.
I don't know. You know, he hasn't been at the golf course a couple of times when I've tried to reach him.
He probably was. He just didn't want you to bother him. Next.
The other day, he was on the phone, and when I came in the room, he hung up.
As if the call were over. Next.
He's written a bunch of checks out to cash.
How much cash?
Couple thousand.
Get a lawyer.
I knew it! I knew there was another woman. I just cannot believe there is another woman. How many women does one man need? Are you smiling?
Well, look. You'll have to understand that this is a very confusing situation for me.
This is the worst feeling I have ever had. Oh, Reba, I'm so sorry if I ever made you feel the way I feel right now.
Look, don't think of it as Brock getting a mistress. Think of it as us getting a new girl for our club. Barbara Jean, you can't go on like this. You have to find out if he's cheating.
Yeah, I just can't believe it. You expect it from other men, but not Brock.
Just ask him.
I can't, Reba. Next to having an affair, accusing somebody of doing it is the best way to break up a marriage.
Well, I don't know what else to tell you.
You could ask him. He would understand it if you don't trust him.
No. No,
Please,
no way.
Reba.
No,
Please,
no.
please, please.
No.
Please,
No. Oh, all right. Man, you're way better at that than Kira is. Hey, guys, I have to go over to Brock and Barbara Jean's house. Don't be surprised if I come back drunk.
Wait. No. Hold on. Wait, you're leaving? Who's gonna watch Elizabeth?
Oh, my gosh, that was close.
Yeah.
I almost left her alone in the house with her parents.
They all want grandchildren, but they just don't think about the consequences.
Oh, Kira. I started to get worried. Where's Scott?
I don't know. He was supposed to come over half an hour ago.
What did you call him?
It's no big deal. He must have gotten hung up somewhere. We'll just go out another time.
Oh, you poor thing. You know, you shouldn't be home alone tonight. Why don't you watch Elizabeth and Shine and I will go out?
Van.
What? I said you poor thing.
No, it's okay. We'll wait on him. We've got some time before Mom comes back anyway.
Oh, you know, I just remembered I did talk to him and he had a game tonight.
Kira, what's going on?
Nothing.
Kira.
I don't want to talk about it with you.
Shine. Do you want to talk about it with me?
Sure. Why don't you go make us some tea and I'll be in a minute.
Okay.
Bye.
No, Kira. Something's really wrong.
Cheyenne, I want to go home.
No, not until you tell me what's going on.
Fine, I'll go out the back.
Kira.
Where's the tea? I can only find the salt.
Kira.
Fine. He dumped me. Are you happy?
He what?
Yeah, Scott just broke up with me.
Hey there, pretty bride. Anyone have any objections now?
Hey, Barbara Jean. Hey, how you doing?
Oh, super good. Yeah. Yeah, I'm just trying to look on the positive side. You know, the good thing about your husband cheating on you is my house has never been cleaner. Oh, I won't eat that. They're for Brock.
Oh, okay.
Oh, in it.
Look, wouldn't you rather talk to Brock about him having an affair and just call me about it later?
No. Yeah. I can't even look at him without thinking about him in the arms of another.
Barbara Jean, breathe. Breathe. Okay, fine, I'll ask him. Calm down. Breathe.
Happy thoughts.
Yeah, happy thoughts.
Beanie babies.
Beanie babies.
Hey, honey, I'm back. Hey, Reba, how's it going?
Don't you want to know what that was about?
Not really. How good could it be? So what are you doing over here?
Well, Barbara Jean and I were gonna do something, but now I guess I'm off the hook.
So, do you know why she keeps doing that?
Me? Nope.
Too bad. This is really annoying.
Annoying? You think she's annoying? Your wife is in there heaping, and you have the nerve. Are you having an affair?
What?
An affair. You know that thing where you periodically ruin everybody's lives because you still want to feel 17?
Why would you ask me that?
Because that's why your wife is so upset, you moron. And because God does have a sense of humor, she comes running to me.
I'm not having an affair, okay?
Oh, yeah, and why am I supposed to believe you?
Well, because I'm not dumb enough to make the same mistake twice.
Oh, come on. You make the same mistake twice, you're just getting warmed up.
All right, look. If I tell you what's going on, will you promise to keep it a secret?
Yeah, all right. What is it?
Okay. I gotta tell you, it's not an easy thing for me to admit.
It's rude to talk and eat. Go on.
Anyway, I've been thinking about my life a lot lately. I mean, I've got this terrific wife, great kids, everything I ever dreamed of, and I'm miserable. It's like I've got it all, Reba, and I'm just not happy. It's like I've lost the ability to feel joy. So I went and saw a therapist. She told me that I'm clinically depressed.
Really?
Yeah. She put me on antidepressants.
So that's what this is all about?
Yeah.
So why didn't you tell Barbara Jean? You scared her to death.
Because I don't want her to know.
Are you serious? You'd rather her think you're having an affair than being on medication?
Well, one of them has a stigma.
Brock!
No. It makes me feel weak. Do you have any idea how humiliating this is for me? I don't want her to know.
No. What don't you want me to know?
That I'm having an affair.
You're cheating on me?
Oh, Brock, tell her the truth. I hate that sound.
I'm seeing a therapist.
Who is she? What's the tramp's name?
I'm seeing her professionally.
You're paying for it?
Barbara Jean, he's not cheating on you. He's in therapy.
Therapy? Why?
Well, there are a lot of things that I've been burying deep for a long time that I needed to confront.
You're gay. I knew you were too good looking.
He's not gay. He's not even that good looking. He's clinically depressed.
No, he's not.
Actually, I am, and the last 10 minutes haven't helped it.
No, I'm sorry. If my husband was depressed, I think I'd know about it.
Well, he is, and he's taking antidepressants.
Oh, you'd love that, wouldn't you, Reba?
What are you talking about?
He's depressed. He's been that way for a while now. So when he ran off with me, it's because he had a mental disease.
That's not a mental disease. That's just bad taste.
All right, I think this is getting a little out of hand.
Oh, how would you know, you pill popper?
Hey, those pills make me feel better.
Honey, you don't need happy pills. You only need me. I will make you happy.
Barbara Jean, he needs your support right now.
He needs to get a grip. You wanted to sell your dental practice, I didn't make a peep. You wanted to become a professional golfer, I went along. But I will not let you take pills that make you a different person. I will not let you say that our marriage was a mistake.
Barbara Jean.
No! And if you tell him any different, you are no longer welcome here. I don't ever want to see or talk to you again.
Maybe we should have gone with the gay thing.
Wait, did you have a fight? Was he seeing someone else? Was he pressuring you, Kira? I don't remember. I was high.
He was. What is wrong with boys? What happened to morals? You know what it is? You know what it is? MTV.
You see, this is exactly why 14-year-olds should not date 17-year-olds.
Why? Because you shouldn't get pregnant until you're 17?
Well, I don't even recommend it then.
And it's not like 14-year-old boys don't put on pressure, too. Yeah, but they're really bad at it. It doesn't matter how old anyone is. I'm not going to do something I'm not ready for. Believe me, I'm not going to make the same mistakes you did. Excuse me? Oh, come on, Cheyenne. Living with you two is like living in a public service announcement.
Well, thank you very much. I'm proud to be the older sister you never want to be.
You didn't have to have a baby to make me feel that way.
You know, what was I thinking? I don't even know why I try and even be nice to you. Do you even have any feelings?
Okay, can everybody please calm down and stop acting like girls? Now, Cheyenne, Kira is lashing out at you because her boyfriend just dumped her and she can't lash out at him. And Kira, Cheyenne has been through a lot, okay? And she doesn't have to have it repeatedly thrown back in her face. She's a teenage mother. Get over it! Now, both of you say something nice to each other.
You didn't dress that badly for your date.
You didn't have a second baby.
Nicer.
Fine. Well, you used to be this superficial princess who only cared about how she looked and how popular she was. Now you worry about your husband and your baby and your little sister.
Still look good though, right?
You took a hard road, Cheyenne, but it made you a better person.
Well, I think you're taking a hard road, Kira, and it's gonna make you a better person.
They're all hard roads.
The sucky thing is, I really did like him.
I know. You know, what are we doing standing around here? We're not gonna let that idiot ruin our Saturday night.
You got that right.
What do you say we go out and have some fun?
Yes!
All right?
Woohoo!
All right. Dan?
Huh.
You're watching Elizabeth.
Of course I am.
Yeah.
This is great, Mom. You never let me have cookies this late at night.
Well, it's not the only special thing you get tonight. Look,
What's this?
this is deodorant. It's something you use when you get a little older and your body starts to mature.
Is it because I smell?
Yes. Yes, it is.
Cool!
Hey, guys. Listen, buddy, can I get a second with your mom?
Okay, Dad. Guess what? I got my own deodorant.
Great. Rub some of that on your feet. Listen, I want to thank you for your support earlier. It meant a lot.
Yeah. You're flying high on your happy pills, aren't you?
In fact, I'm thinking maybe I'm going to stop taking those antidepressants.
What?
Yeah, you know, it's like Barbara Jean says. I mean, everybody goes through tough times. You just have to learn how to deal with it. Besides, I'm not even sure I like my therapist. You know, everything I say to her, she says, "What are you, nuts?"
You're stopping them because Barbara Jean wants you to.
That's not the only reason. You know, I'm not even sure those pills are working.
Brock, you gotta give them time. It can take up to 2 weeks, and you already said that they were making you feel better.
Yeah, well, maybe it's not the pills. Maybe I'm starting to feel better on my own.
It doesn't work that way. You've got a chemical imbalance. I don't know the medical term for it, but your brain is all wacko.
Oh, really? And how would you know? What made you an expert on antidepressants all of a sudden?
Because I've been on them.
What?
Right after we broke up for about 6 months.
Well, why didn't you tell me?
Oh, I don't know. Somehow I just felt we weren't that close. It's not easy to admit you need help. Especially for men. And me. But you can't fix the problem by just wishing it away.
That's what my therapist said.
Look, if you don't think the pills are doing any good for you, then stop. But this is not just about your wife. It's about your kids and your friends and everybody else in your life.
Oh, man. Barbara Jean's gonna be really unhappy about this.
Yeah, I know. And when she finds out that I'm for it, she's never gonna speak to me again.
Don't worry, Reba, I'll keep you out of it.
What are you, nuts? Why should you be the only one that's happy?
Good morning, Mom.
Hey.
Notice anything different about me?
Please tell me you're not pregnant again.
This Saturday, I am turning 21, which means I will finally be an adult.
Oh, your baby daughter will be so glad to hear it.
Today is day 1 of my birthday week, or as I like to call it, Cheyenne-a-palooza.
How could you, Reba?
What are you talking about?
I told you, Barbara Jean, it was my idea to go back on medication.
Look, Barbara Jean, yes. I do think Brock should stay on antidepressants.
How could you say that?
Because I think it's good for him. Just like I think he should eat broccoli, jog every day, and take his wife to Paris. And leave her there.
Well, he's my husband, and I say he shouldn't be taking antidepressants. And if anyone deserves to go to Paris, it's you.
What have you got against antidepressants?
Oh, shh. Do you mind? Do we have to tell the entire world that I'm taking, you know? It's just, well, I haven't told the kids yet. You know, I haven't figured out the right way.
Good Lord, Brock, you're gonna tell the kids?
Why not, Barbara Jean? There's no shame in it. Unlike the rest of his life. Why don't you just tell the kids, you big chicken?
Oh, you mean like you did when you were taking them?
What? You take happy pills? Oh, well, there's all the evidence you need to know they don't work.
And the fact that you're still alive is proof that they do work. Look, I was only on them for a little while. It was a long time ago. To tell you the truth, Brock, I wished I had told the kids.
Reba, I warned you. If you didn't stay out of my marriage, I would never speak to you again. Here,
What's this?
it's a goodbye card. Yeah, I was afraid this wasn't gonna go well. So, goodbye, Reba. And those are the last words you're ever gonna hear from me.
Oh, really? You know, I thought the last words would be, Reba, this soup tastes funny.
Ha. Ha. Okay, those are my last words. And since my last words were ha and ha, I also got the last laugh. And now I'll lock my lips and throw away the key.
That's just great. She's serious, Reba. Now what am I going to tell the kids when they want to know why you two aren't speaking?
Not now, Brock. I gotta find that key and bury it.
My roots are planted in the past, though my life is changing fast. Who I am is who I wanna be. A single mom who works too hard, who loves her kids and never stops, with gentle hands and the heart of a fighter. I'm a survivor.
Cheyenne here. I want to ask her what she wants for her birthday.
You're gonna ask a woman what she wants for her birthday? What are you, 9? Women never tell you what they want. You're supposed to know them well enough to know what they want. They expect you to pay attention and show effort. It's horrible and exhausting.
If I can't ask, how can I find out?
Oh, tiny, simple Jake. They drop hints, you get clues, you listen. That's how I knew to get Cheyenne a snowboard.
She doesn't know how to snowboard.
It doesn't matter. The other night, we were talking about fishing, and then one thing leads to another, and the subject goes to snow. Don't ask me how. So for half an hour, we're talking about snow, and then suddenly, Cheyenne says she's bored. Snow. Bored. Bingo! I got the idea for the perfect gift. Oh, hi, honey. How was your birthday week shopping spree?
Frustrating. Shine won't tell me what she wants.
Oh, really?
We saw lots of great stuff. How about that snowboard?
No.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. That's like the worst present ever. I hate snowboarding. Yeah, you know what I do want, though, is I want a girls' night out. Just the ladies of the family, legally drinking, talking about me.
You want a girls' night out with your mom?
Mm-hmm. And none of my friends are old enough, so it's just gonna be me, you, and Barbara Jean.
Barbara Jean? Can it be any Barbara Jean? Because it can't be the Barbara Jean that your dad's married to.
Look, Mom, I don't know what you two are fighting about, but you better get over it by this weekend. It's my birthday. It's supposed to be a season of peace.
You do know you weren't born in a manger, right?
It's too bad, Mom. You know, I really did want Barbara Jean to be there. But I know you'd do it if you could. After all, you are my mommy. You love me. And I only turned 21 once.
Hey,
Thought I heard someone. Guess it must have just been the wind.
very cute. Almost as cute as the message on your answering machine. Hi, if this is Reba, wait for the beep, then go jump in the creek. Beep. Barbara Jean, this thing's gotten way out of hand.
No, Reba, this is big. This isn't like our dispute over the talents of Mr. Keanu Reeves. So unless you're here to say you're sorry, I don't want to hear it.
Look, I came over here to just say...
I'm sorry?
No, I was gonna say...
Oh, still not hearing I'm sorry.
Barbara Jean,
Reba, this is serious. You undermined my marriage. You had no right to butt in.
wait, I undermined your marriage? I had no right to butt in?
Yeah, and stop copying me.
Oh!
I had the decency to allow you into my life. And this is how you treat me.
I didn't want to be in your life.
Yeah, well, I'm mad about that too.
No, wait just a second. Oh. Ridiculous. Up until now, do you know what I've been to you?
Oh, yeah.
A saint. Oh, you know what?
What?
You can kiss my ex-wife feet. Yeah, oh, yeah. I said feet, but you know what I mean.
What are you and Mom fighting about now?
What are we fighting about? Why don't you ask your father what we're fighting about?
I'll tell you what they're fighting about. The same thing they're always fighting about. Keanu Reeves.
That's right. I think I'm just gonna go upstairs and watch Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. It's excellent.
Gee, I love when something weird is going on and everyone pretends it's fine.
There's nothing weird going on. It's fine. All right, Kira, wait. Actually, there is something I want to talk to you about. Here, why don't we sit down? Boy, we don't do this very much.
Sit.
Talk.
I think this is why.
Kira, honey, wait. You know, sometimes when we're struggling in life, we don't tell anyone. I guess that's because we think it makes us appear to be stronger.
Oh. I know what this is about, Dad.
You do? Oh. Wow, that's great. You know, I kept trying to figure out some way to bring it up.
It's about Scott, isn't it?
Scott?
I guess I thought that if I pretended it doesn't hurt that he dumped me, it wouldn't.
Scott dumped you? I mean, I knew that you guys broke up. I just, you know, you guys call it being dumped.
Yeah, we do. I've just been so depressed.
Yeah, well, see, Kira, here's the thing. Boy, life can be hard. That's why you have to keep your chin up, you know?
Keep my chin up?
Yeah, right. I mean, we all have to. We all have to. You can't let it get you down. See, you gotta be stronger than the nonsense that life throws at you.
Okay.
Well, there you go.
Thanks a lot.
Anytime.
Wow, we finished that one fast.
You finished my birthday drink? I only had one sip. Hey, bartender, can we get another one of these? 21 over here. That's me.
I was drinking a little bit more because you need to take it slow. This is your first time drinking.
Yeah, right, Mom. Like, I've never... You're right. I should take it slow.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks. Oh, this is fun. Girls' night out is really a lot of fun with just two girls. Of course, if Barbara Jean was here, it'd be two girls and a horse's butt.
Mom, that is the third time you've talked about Barbara Jean. Look, if you're upset about your fight, we can talk about it.
No. It's your birthday. The only thing I want to talk about is you.
Okay. Hey, why don't you tell me how cute I was when I was born? That'd be so much fun.
You were so cute. Mm-hmm. You know what's not cute? A horse's butt.
You're talking about Barbara Jean again.
See? She's not even here and she's still butting in.
Surprise! Happy birthday. Huh? Is this the best birthday present ever? Or what? Come on, give Papa some sugar.
Oh, sure. Just go over here in private. What were you thinking? No, Mom and Barbara Jean are gonna fight and they're gonna ruin Cheyenne-a-Palooza. Everyone.
What was I thinking? What was I thinking? What is this crazy lady want for her birthday? If I get rid of Barbara Jean, does that count as my present?
No.
Thank you. Okay, fine. Fine. I will get you whatever you want, as long as you tell me specifically or you get nothing. So, what do you want?
Are you 21?
I wish I could use another drink by now.
Let's go.
No, what do you want?
Cheyenne? Yes. I would love to stay and celebrate your birthday. But if this is awkward, I'll go.
Oh, no. I'll go. As soon as the earthquake stops.
Neither of you two are going anywhere. You are gonna both sit down and we are gonna celebrate my birthday like adults. Cherry's mine.
Well, Reba, are you willing to at least apologize for the sake of Cheyenne's birthday? Is that a no?
Tell you what, I'll apologize to you for everything I've done. And then you can apologize to me for everything you've done. I'll start. I'm sorry I was ever nice to you.
Okay, here's one. I'm sorry. I thought you were my friend.
Oh, no. I'm sorry you thought I was ever your friend. And for that cross-stitch pillow manila thingy that you made me that says Barbara Jean's friend.
I'm sorry that I thought you, of all people, would understand that when a marriage goes through a rough spot, it needs support. Instead, you stabbed my marriage in the back.
What? Yeah. Oh, don't you boo me! She had an affair with my husband.
I didn't take her husband. He came running.
Hey, fine. Are you happy? You just ruined Cheyenne's birthday.
I didn't do anything.
Oh, don't you nudge me.
Well, then you stop nudging me.
Hey! No nudging on my birthday. You stay up.
She nudged me! Touch my daughter! I'll just... Oh!
That's it. Look, if you're gonna fight, take it outside.
Oh, so suddenly everybody in a bar has to get along? When did they make up that rule?
Hey, Mr. H.
Kids are in their pajamas watching a video. Everything go okay at the bar?
No, I don't want to talk about it.
So, listen, Van, I want your advice about something. And you know, it actually helps that you're not one of my biological kids.
Oh, that's so cool as you think of me as not one of your kids.
Yeah, well, trying to figure out the best way to tell Kira that I'm seeing a therapist.
A therapist? You mean like, cuckoo?
Well, obviously, you've read up on it. Yes, I've been diagnosed with depression. I'm taking antidepressants.
Oh. Hey, what's that?
Van.
That's right, it's me, Van, your friend.
Hey, is Mom here?
No, she's still out with Cheyenne.
No, but it's okay. So, just, no one should get sad about that.
I'll just come back later.
No, go!
Why?
Stay. Why? I don't know. Just hang out. For heaven's sake, be upbeat.
What did you have for dinner, Van? Lunatic pills?
Not funny. Not funny one bit. She didn't mean it.
Okay, Van, well, thanks for your help. I'm going to talk to Kira, so could you give us a moment?
Sure. Maybe I should take your belt and your shoelaces, though.
Get out!
Trying desperately to make sense of that little scene, but nope.
Okay, look, I'm just going to say this. I've been seeing a therapist for depression.
Oh.
Yeah. That's what I was trying to tell you earlier. But then we got off on that whole Scott thing, and I just figured you wanted to talk about that.
Yeah, I did.
Well, so that's why I didn't bring it up then.
Because it would have gotten in the way of that whole keep your chin up thing.
Well, no. It's just, it didn't seem like, it was the right time to start talking about my problems.
Well, Dad, maybe it would have been the exact right time to do it. You kind of have this whole pillar of strength thing that isn't always so helpful all the time.
I thought that, worked for me.
No. I kind of like the idea that you're a human being with feelings.
Well, I guess I could work on that then.
Cool.
Cool. Hey.
Why do they keep these in the kitchen?
This is fun. Hey, for my birthday, let's go stand outside a water park.
If anybody has a right to be mad here, it's me. You promised you weren't ever going to speak to me again. I was counting on that.
I shouldn't be talking to you. I had talked Brock out of taking those pills. He was cured. And then along comes Just Say Yes Reba, and he can't spin the child-proof cap fast enough.
Why is Brock being happy such a threat to you?
Because This is the first time he had to go outside our marriage to be happy. Reba, I'm in a lose-lose situation. If the pills work, I'm not the reason he's happy. And if they don't work, he's just gonna keep looking.
Oh, no. No, you're not gonna drag me back into making me feel sorry for you. We had a big fight. We're supposed to be out of each other's lives.
You know, that was the worst part of all of this. When I was angry at you for supporting Brock, I had no one to go to. Do you have any idea how devastating it is to feel like I'm losing my husband and his ex-wife?
Dang it. You're doing it again. Come here.
So does this mean that you don't hate me?
Yeah, but I don't know why. You did me wrong. I should have hated you when I had the chance, but I blew it. Then I got to know you. Got to know the kind of person you are. The kind that writes Love Barbara Jean on a goodbye card.
Welcome back, buddy.
I can't believe I got so drunk. You know what I think, Van? I think there was more than just fruit in those drinks.
Well, there's a lot more than fruit all over the back seat of your mom's car. All right, honey. Now I got you some aspirin and some water, and there's a barf bag under your pillow.
Okay. Don't you just love my birthday, Van?
No. It's horrible and exhausting. Cheyenne, what do you want for your birthday? A snowboard.
Me.
Hey, have you guys seen Jake?
Yeah, he's upstairs in the bathroom looking in the mirror. He's discovered the joy of hair care products. So young, so vain. Do you like my hair? I like the spiky thing? You like that?
Mom, can we talk to you about something?
Uh-oh, Cheyenne's using her serious voice. Van, are you pregnant?
Cheyenne, I got this. Mrs. H, you seem like the kind of person who appreciates birds.
Van, you're not getting a bird.
And you probably know that there comes a time when the little birds have to leave the nest. And is the mama bird sad when that day comes? Well,
Van, you're not getting a bird.
We're moving out.
What?
Yeah. Van and I think it's time.
we want our independence. And that table and those knives.
So, are you okay with us moving out?
Well, I don't know exactly how I feel. I mean, on the one hand, I'd miss Elizabeth like crazy.
You wouldn't miss me?
Yeah, but not like crazy. Have you guys figured out how much you can afford?
Yeah, we made a budget, and according to Van's salary, we can afford a place up to $700 a month.
Really? Wow, you could probably get a great place for $700 a month.
Well, $900 a month if we eat all our meals here.
You could probably get a great place for $700 a month.
So, Mom, what do you think?
I think it's a great idea.
Really? You're not upset?
No, I think it's time for the little birdies to leave the nest.
All right. Mom, where are you going?
I'm gonna go measure y'all's room. Time for the mama birdie to go get her a treadmill. I'm a-coming.
Reba, open up. It's me.
I've already left for work.
I fell for that one yesterday.
Barbara Jean, I'm a little rushed right now. What can I do for you?
Oh, nothing. I just wanted to ask you something. How do you like having the name Reba?
Well, I prefer Knuckles. But I guess it's just fine. Why do you ask?
Well, I just wanted to know because if I wind up with a girl, that's what I'm gonna name her.
If you name a dog Reba, I'm gonna slap you silly.
Not a dog, a baby. Brock and I are having another baby.
But Brock had a vasectomy.
He's getting it reversed.
How'd you talk him into that?
He doesn't know yet. You're completely crazy. I've been wanting to talk to him about it, but you know, I just never know how to start an important conversation with Brock.
Well, I usually say, how long till halftime?
See, you know him. You know what's funny? You know how when you sell someone a used car, you share the little tips on how to operate it, you know, how to tune the radio, what to do if the heat won't turn on? And we never did that when I got Brock.
I don't think you're obligated to tell all the little tips when somebody steals your car.
Reba, please.
No, Barbara Jean. I'm not gonna talk to my ex-husband about having a baby with the woman he left me for. That's weird even for our family.
It's not just talking to him about that. It's about anything.
Barbara Jean.
Oh, Reba, please.
No.
Fine. But I'm getting a dog. And I'm gonna call it Reba. And that way I get to do this. Reba, no!
My roots are planted in the past, though my life is changing fast. Who I am is who I wanna be. A single mom who works too hard, who loves her kids and never stops, with gentle hands and the heart of a fighter. I'm a survivor.
We just saw the coolest apartment in the world. You should really think about renting it. Oh, wait. You can't.
Yeah.
Because we already did.
Mom, it is on the 20th floor of this amazing building.
20th floor?
Yeah.
Does it have a Xerox machine and a water cooler? Because you may have accidentally gotten a job.
Nope, it was an apartment. Mom, wait till you see the view.
You can see the curvature of the earth.
Van, I told you it's impossible.
You can see the curvature of the earth.
Well, I'll shut up as long as I can come and hang out at your penthouse.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Penthouse?
Mrs. H, do not worry. It has nothing to do with the magazine.
You found a 20th floor penthouse for $700 a month?
No, we found a third floor unit in the back of the building for $700 a month. Then we heard about the apartment of the gods.
It's a little more than $700 a month.
I'll bet. How much?
Keep in mind, you can see the curvature of the earth.
Keep that in mind. How much?
$1,500 a month?
That's 700 times 2, plus a little.
Mrs. H, I don't want to get in a math argument with you. We want it.
We want it, Mom. We want it bad.
You can't afford it.
Yeah, well, that's what the landlord said. So that's why we need you to co-sign the lease.
No, no way. Why don't you just take the apartment on the 3rd floor?
We can't go to the 3rd floor now. We've already been to the mountaintop.
You can't afford the mountaintop. You're not even paying rent down here in the floodplain. No, no way. I'm not going to co-sign. End of discussion.
Oh, if that's the people from the American dream, just tell them we're not here.
Barbara Jean, calm down. What's the matter? Oh, okay, I'll be right there.
We just have to face facts, Cheyenne. Your mom's not gonna help us. How much do you think Jake's worth?
Man, I wish we were in high school and we could just forge your signature like we did when we skipped class.
Yeah.
Van.
Yeah.
No.
Cheyenne. Yes.
We can't.
Oh.
But we're going to, aren't we?
Okay, Barbara Jean, what's wrong?
Okay, Reba, do you remember when I told you before that I have a really hard time talking to Brock about important things?
Yes.
Well, I still do. Barbara Jean, you lied to me. No, I tricked you. See, I know how to work you. You need to teach me how to work Brock.
Barbara Jean.
Oh, Reba, you have to help me. Brock gets upset because I always just blurt stuff out. I'm a blurter, Reba. Help me not be a blurter.
You're not gonna lay off this stuff until I tell you, are you?
No, and it could get worse. You know how annoying I am.
That's the first decent argument you've made. Okay, I'll tell you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, what should I say to Brock? Oh, would it help if I put on something sexy?
Certainly wouldn't help me. Okay. Say you want Brock to do something. For instance, you want him to paint the upstairs hallway.
Oh, we are.
You are what?
Yeah, we are gonna paint the upstairs hallway. What do you think would be a good color?
I don't care.
Mint green?
I don't care.
Seafoam green.
I don't care.
Oh, hey, you're the one who brought it up.
Okay, all right. Let's forget the upstairs hallway. All right. Whatever it is, Brock's gonna get you to argue about it until you lose your cool. And then he's gonna say, I can't deal with a hysterical woman.
You're right.
I know.
He has done that a million times. Oh, but if he tries it tonight, I'm gonna get all up in his Kool-Aid.
No, Barbara Jean, that's what he wants you to do.
Oh, you're right. You're right. Stay cool. Stay cool. Yeah. Cool as a cucumber. Cucumber green. Right. You don't care about the hallway.
Okay, now let's deal with this blurting problem. You have to control the flow of information. You just can't blurt stuff out.
Hey, sweetheart. Hey, Reba. What are you guys up to?
I think we should have a baby.
Way to go.
A baby? Barbara Jean, can we not get into this right now?
Oh, why not? Hey, we could have another baby and then everything would be fine.
Everything is fine.
It doesn't feel fine. It feels like every night I hop into bed with a stranger. And I haven't felt that way since college.
Sweetheart, I don't want to talk about this right now.
Please?
Will you quit pressuring me? Good Lord, I just walked in the door. We haven't had dinner and you want to have a baby.
Brock,
No, I really don't want to talk about this. Don't you think I have enough to deal with in my life already? Now, please, just drop it.
Okay, you can name a dog Reba.
He makes me so angry.
Why, honey, what'd he do?
He used up all my mousse. Look at my hair. I can't go to the playground like this.
Well, honey, wear a baseball cap.
Hey, Mrs. H. Hey there, buddy. How you doing? Ooh, you could use some more volume.
This is not over.
Hey, Mr. H.
Get out.
Well, I see where Jake gets his temper from. You know, you could use some more volume, too.
Get out!
Well, you're just yelling at everybody today, aren't you?
What the heck was all that before with the baby stuff?
I didn't know she was gonna blurt it out.
Well, you didn't stop her.
That's not my job. You two people are the ones coming barging in my door. Thought when I raised you and got you remarried, you'd be more independent. Don't you come in here yelling at me. I'm not Barbara Jean, and this is not your
Oh,
house.
calm down. I can't talk to a hysterical woman.
Get out of my house. Get out.
No. You do things to make my life miserable because you resent me. And I am not leaving here until we straighten things out between us.
Where was that attitude 3 years ago?
Okay, you know what? That's what I want to talk about.
Do you?
Yeah.
Do you really want to do that? Because if you open that door, I guarantee you're not gonna like what you find behind it.
I know I won't.
You did me wrong. Flat out wrong.
No, everything I did was wrong.
I know. What?
I'm trying to be honest, Reba. That's where we are in my therapy now. It's forcing me to be brutally honest with myself. And as the person who knows me best, you can just imagine how unpleasant that is.
Well, that's a good thing, right? I mean, that's what you're supposed to do in therapy, is be honest.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's what I was supposed to be doing when we were in couples therapy, too, only I didn't.
Oh.
You know, I guess it was just easier to blame my unhappiness on everybody else. And so because I was afraid, everyone I care about got hurt. My kids, my best friend.
Calm down. I can't talk to a hysterical man.
I'm just so sick of hurting everybody, Reba.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Oh. That's great. No, thank you.
We got the apartment?
No.
What? Why?
They turned us down because your mom has lousy credit. Yeah. You know, she could have told us that before we went to the trouble of forging her signature.
God, Van, this is so embarrassing.
Oh, yeah. And first of all, do you know your mom makes like nothing? And she makes it every year.
But she is mom. Don't they know that?
She's not penthouse material.
Think about it. I mean, we were about to leave her. I mean, it's bad enough that she's broke, but to leave her alone, too? Man, I think I'm gonna cry.
No, don't cry.
Okay. I just wish I knew there was something that we could do to help.
We could pay her some rent.
Yeah, and we could buy our own food.
Well, not both. We don't want to rub her nose in it.
Hey there. You guys come down off the mountaintop yet?
There will be no new apartment.
What?
That's right. No new apartment. From now on, if I want to see the curvature of the Earth, I'll just have to become an astronaut.
Well, that's something for the space program to look forward to.
Here,
What's this?
it's a blank check for rent. Fill it in for $100.
Oh, honey, you didn't have to do that.
Oh, take the money, you proud, brave woman.
But you guys were so excited about moving out. What happened?
What happened? What happened? This, you put food on the table. You put a roof over our heads. Mrs. H, we owe you.
Yes.
Well, thanks. Mind signing your name there at the bottom?
Sure. What did we say, 50?
Well, now that you're paying rent, I guess you want the good parking spot.
Nah, the parking situation's fine. It's the menu I'm having a problem with, Reba.
What did you call me?
Reba. See, now that we're renters, I don't think it's right for me to be calling you Mrs. H. Oh, and I'm cutting down on my carbs, so keep that in mind, okay, Reba?
Sure thing. I just have one little bitty question for Cheyenne.
Yeah, sure. What is it?
You have a life insurance policy on your husband?
So?
I think so. Why?
Because he's not gonna make it.
Mom,
Hey,
I know you admire directness, so I'm just gonna get to it. Barbara Jean said she saw you in bed with Dad.
what? She's crazy, Carrie. You know that's not true.
Of course I do, but she swears something happened this afternoon at exactly 4:17.
Exactly 4:17.
She swears after seeing it, her watch stopped.
Good Lord. Honey, I was just hugging your dad. It was nothing.
Well, it wasn't nothing to Barbara Jean. Look, I know it seems like I'm mean to her all the time, but I'm really not, because most of it just goes over her head. She thinks I like her, and I kind of do. I don't want to see her like this.
Well, then just go tell her what really happened.
I don't think she's gonna believe it from me.
Fine. I'll tell you one thing. I will never hug again.
Hey, Reba. Just thought I'd come over and tell you what a wonderful friend you are. Oh, what's Brock doing here? Ah! Adulterers!
Jean!
Hey!
Are you hitting your dolls with your skillet?
No. No, I was, just cleaning up some trash. Hey, let me guess, you're looking for Brock.
No, actually, I was coming over looking for you.
As in seeing if the coast is clear so you and your boyfriend could make out?
Oh, gross. Look, Barbara Jean, I know what you think you saw Brock and me doing, but it wasn't what you think.
You were touching. You were stuck together like two gummy worms on a hot summer day.
Brock and I are divorced.
The perfect cover for an affair. Everybody worries about the other woman. Nobody worries about the original.
You're blowing this way out of proportion. I was just hugging Brock because he was talking to me about what he's going through in his therapy.
He tells you about therapy?
No.
I know something's wrong, Reba. I can feel it. You know, it's not just the two of you pawing each other like Sonny and Cher. It's him being unhappy, the therapy, the pills. It's like he thinks everything with me was a mistake.
Barbara Jean, it'll be fine. He just needs time to figure things out.
You know, I don't know, Reba. I'd like to believe you, but I don't know if I should. Why can't God just give me a sign?
Barbara Jean, I'm back.
See, there's your sign. He's come home to the one he loves.
Hey, Barbara Jean. I think we should talk.
Yeah, I think so too.
But could you give me a minute with Reba first?
You want me to leave? Okay, I'll leave. But make it a good minute, Brock. Make sure that at the end of that minute, you figured out whatever it is you need to figure out, because I can't keep living like this.
Brock, go after her. She thinks that you think you made a mistake by leaving me and marrying her and everything. Go tell her she was wrong.
I don't think I can do that.
And why the heck not?
Because I do think I made a mistake.
Staring at her hands folded tightly in her lap, slowly shook her head. Her voice was quiet, thick with unshed tears. No, we are not. Van looked at her, his easy smile faltering. He sensed the sadness in her posture, the heavy weight of the insecurity that had been building since that morning in the kitchen. He leaned closer, trying to inject some levity into the serious moment. Want a rock, paper, scissor for it? Let us go. Cheyenne did not look up. She remained motionless, lost in her own thoughts. Van held out his hand, ready to play. You are going to pick scissors, are not you? When Cheyenne still did not respond, Van gently nudged her shoulder. Get out. Hey, honey. Hey, baby. I need to talk to you. Cheyenne finally lifted her head, looking at him with large, sad eyes. Oh, honey. I just got the television. Van reached over, turning off the television with a definitive click. The room plunged into a soft, intimate silence. He turned fully toward Cheyenne, taking both of her hands in his large, warm ones. His voice dropped to a low, serious register, shedding the usual goofy demeanor that defined his daily interactions. Well, I started thinking. Van began slowly, choosing his words with uncharacteristic care, that maybe you do not think of me as new pretty because I do not do enough to keep your interest. Cheyenne looked away, a tear finally escaping and tracing a path down her cheek. No, honey, Van insisted, his voice firm and unwavering. He squeezed her hands gently. You are way hot. Cheyenne offered a small, watery smile, appreciating the sentiment, but the deep-seated doubt remained. She reached down beside the bed, pulling out a small, brightly colored box she had hidden there earlier. She opened the lid, revealing a sleek, styled piece of artificial hair. Guilty, Cheyenne whispered softly, staring at the box. But anyway, I thought that maybe I should, change my look every now and then just to keep things fresh. So, I bought a wig. She lifted the wig from the box. It was a completely different style and color from her natural hair. An attempt to become something she was not, simply to capture the new pretty aesthetic her husband had so enthusiastically praised that morning. Van stared at the wig, his expression a mixture of profound shock and deep, immediate understanding. He realized, with startling clarity, the damage his careless words had caused. He gently reached out, taking the wig from her hands and placing it carefully back into the box. He pushed the box aside, focusing entirely on Cheyenne's face. Cheyenne, put that down, Van said softly, his voice full of tender authority. Listen to me. He leaned closer, his eyes locking onto hers, holding her gaze with absolute sincerity. I think it is a good thing that when I look at you, I do not see the beautiful girl with the killer body. Cheyenne's eyes widened, a flash of fresh hurt crossing her features. She started to pull her hands away, but Van held on firmly, refusing to let her retreat. I see my wife, Van stated simply, the words carrying the full weight of his devotion. And I am attracted to her whether she is all dressed up, ready to go out or just sitting on the couch wearing those washed-up flannel pajamas. Cheyenne stopped pulling away. She looked at him, searching his earnest face for any sign of deception or polite lying. She found only absolute, unwavering truth. Really? She asked, her voice barely a whisper. Yeah, Van confirmed, a soft, loving smile spreading across his handsome face. He reached up, gently wiping the tear from her cheek with his thumb. You are beautiful to me because of who you are. Cheyenne let out a long, shuddering breath, feeling the heavy, suffocating weight of her insecurity begin to lift, replaced by a warm, comforting rush of love and acceptance. She leaned forward, resting her forehead against his shoulder. I feel kinda stupid. Van wrapped his strong arms securely around her, pulling her close, resting his chin on the top of her head. He let out a soft, contented chuckle, holding the woman he loved more than anything in the world. That is also who you are, and I love it. They sat there for a long moment, simply holding each other, the quiet intimacy of the room wrapping around them like a protective blanket. The chaos of the day, the diets, the gymnasiums, the bizarre misunderstandings, all of it faded away, leaving only the simple, undeniable truth of their connection. Finally, Van gently pulled back, a mischievous glint returning to his eyes. He stood up, offering his hand to Cheyenne. Come on, you. Cheyenne looked up, confused but smiling. Where are we going? Van pulled her up from the bed, wrapping an arm firmly around her waist. He started guiding her toward the bedroom door. Oh, we are going upstairs. Cheyenne laughed softly, leaning into his solid frame as they walked. The heavy burden of doubt had vanished, replaced entirely by the light, joyful security of being fully loved, exactly as she was. Hold on. I thought you did not want me to leave you alone. Van stopped in the doorway, pulling her close for a soft, lingering kiss. He looked down into her eyes, his expression completely serious once again, filled with absolute adoration. Sometimes I want to feel new pretty. Cheyenne smiled, a genuine, radiant expression that lit up the hallway. She reached up, wrapping her arms securely around his neck, finally feeling the pure, unadulterated confidence that came from knowing she was deeply, truly seen and loved. And as they walked away together, leaving the wig forgotten in its box on the floor, the house settled back into its usual, chaotic, yet fundamentally loving rhythm, ready for whatever bizarre new drama the next morning might bring. The morning sun streamed through the kitchen windows of the sprawling suburban house, casting long golden shadows across the linoleum floor. It was a kitchen that had seen its fair share of chaos, laughter, and the complicated dynamics of a blended family trying to navigate life together. On this particular morning, however, the atmosphere was thick with a very specific food-related tension. Ben stood near the expansive kitchen island, his arms crossed tightly over his chest, his brow furrowed in a mixture of awe and genuine concern. Beside him stood Van, his tall frame leaning heavily against the counter, a look of profound disbelief plastered across his handsome, youthful face. They were staring intently at the pantry, or rather what was left of it. "That woman is out of control," Van whispered, shaking his head slowly as if trying to process a natural disaster. "She is like a locust. I swear. She has eaten everything in the house." Ben nodded solemnly, his eyes scanning the barren shelves. "It is not just this house, Van. She has eaten everything in Mr. H's house too. Look over there." He pointed a dramatic finger toward the small wooden dining table nestled in the corner. "Even the salt and pepper shakers are empty. Who eats straight pepper?" Van let out a heavy sigh, rubbing the back of his neck. The woman in question was a force of nature, a houseguest whose appetite had seemingly expanded to black hole proportions. The family budget was groaning under the weight of her constant snacking. "Why do you not just tell her she has eaten too much?" Van suggested, turning to look at his younger companion. "You tell her." Ben immediately recoiled, his eyes widening in panic. "No way. You tell her. You are the older one." Van narrowed his eyes, a competitive spark igniting within him. This was a house that operated on ancient, unspoken rules of conflict resolution. Fine. Rock, paper, scissors. "But Ben, you know you are going to lose." Ben squared his shoulders, determination masking his fear. "Not this time. Ready? 1, 2, 3. They threw their hands out simultaneously. Van displayed a flat palm, indicating paper. Ben, with a look of crushing defeat, presented 2 extended fingers. "Scissors." "Dang it!" Ben exclaimed, dropping his hand in frustration. "How do you always beat me?" Van offered a smug, self-satisfied grin. "Because you always pick scissors. It is the most predictable move in the game." "Of course I do," Ben defended himself, his voice pitching higher. "It is my system. It has to work eventually. So, you are the loser this time, which means you will tell her." Van's smugness evaporated instantly, replaced by a look of sheer terror. "Yeah, fine. Actually, no. No, I do not want to." "You lost the game. You tell her," Ben insisted, stepping closer and grabbing Van by the sleeve of his shirt. "Come on, Van, you tell her. Please, please, please." "No, Ben, why should I tell her?" Van pleaded, looking around desperately for an escape route. His eyes landed on his beautiful wife, Cheyenne, who had just sauntered into the kitchen, looking radiant and utterly oblivious to their crisis. Cheyenne poured herself a cup of coffee and leaned against the counter, a serene smile on her face. "Because," she chimed in, her voice melodic and calm, "girls can say that kind of stuff without having to come across like all they care about are looks." She took a delicate sip of her coffee and then looked Van up and down. "By the way, Van, you have been looking hot lately." Van's panic melted into a puddle of absolute devotion. He puffed out his chest slightly, a goofy grin spreading from ear to ear. "Oh, you," he murmured, completely forgetting about the impending doom of confronting the hungry houseguest. Cheyenne turned to Ben and patted his shoulder gently. Look, sweetie, why do I not just tell her? Ben looked as though he might fall to his knees in gratitude. Thank you. You are a lifesaver, Cheyenne. Before the plan could be set into motion, the kitchen door swung open with a dramatic creak. In walked the matriarch of the household, Mrs. H, carrying a massive, greasy, rectangular cardboard box. The aroma of baked cheese and cured meats immediately flooded the room. Hey, 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 Mrs. H announced loudly, her face beaming with triumph. Guess who Luigi gave the free pizza to? Reba, the anchor of the family, walked in right behind her, carrying a basket of laundry. She paused, leveling a dry, knowing look at the older woman. Luigi does not have to roll it out of the bed every morning, Reba noted, her voice carrying a distinct blend of sarcasm and genuine affection. You know, Mom, we really do not need another pizza. I mean, it is really just the three of us eating right now. Mrs. H waved her hand dismissively, setting the heavy box down on the kitchen island with a loud thud. Oh, I know, but I had to take it. It was completely free. Somebody will eat it. She flipped the lid open, revealing a glistening expanse of pepperoni and extra cheese. Oh, I claim the first slice. Reba set the laundry basket down and placed her hands on her hips, taking a deep, steadying breath. This house was constantly teetering on the edge of dietary chaos. You know what, Mom? I am thinking maybe, just maybe, we should all try and get a little healthier around here. We could start eating more vegetables, maybe take a walk. Mrs. H stopped mid-bite, a long string of mozzarella cheese connecting her mouth to the slice in her hand. She looked at Reba with utter confusion. What are you talking about? I am very healthy. I have a robust constitution. Just then, a commotion erupted near the living room hallway. It was Brock, Reba's ex-husband, looking frantic. He came rushing into the kitchen, his eyes darting around wildly. He zeroed in on Mrs. H and the pizza. All right, that is it, Mrs. H. Drop it, Brock commanded, pointing a stern finger at the slice of pizza. Drop it, Mrs. H. Drop it, drop it, drop it. Mrs. H stared at him, chewing defiantly. Drop it, Brock yelled louder, his face turning a slight shade of crimson. He moved closer, his voice dropping to a theatrical whisper of despair. Mrs. H, I cannot stand to see you do this to yourself. It is like you are trying to eat yourself to death. Why? What happened to you? What is different in your life that is causing this void? Before Brock could psychoanalyze the elderly woman any further, the front door burst open with a melodic chime. A high-pitched, exuberantly joyful voice echoed through the foyer, sending a shockwave through the entire kitchen. Yoo-hoo! I am here, and I am thin. Everyone froze. Heads snapped toward the entryway. Stepping into the light was Barbara Jean. The Barbara Jean they all knew was a loud, bubbly, fiercely loyal woman who loved deeply and ate heartily. But the woman standing before them was completely transformed. She was slender, toned, and practically vibrating with newfound energy, wearing a bright pink athletic outfit that fit her like a glove. Van squinted, leaning forward over the kitchen island. Yeah, thin as a stick, and dumb as one too, he muttered under his breath. Cheyenne nudged him sharply in the ribs. Yikes, what is eating Cooper grape? Look at that. She gestured toward Barbara Jean's impossibly thin legs. They look like the number 10. Reba closed her eyes and rubbed her temples, feeling a familiar headache blooming behind her eyes. Oh, thank God, Reba muttered sarcastically to herself. I thought it was just a nightmare. Barbara Jean bounded into the kitchen, striking a pose, her arms raised in victory. Yoo-hoo, I am here, and I am thin, she repeated, spinning around to give everyone a 360-degree view of her new physique. Reba sighed heavily, resigning herself to her fate. And the nightmare continues, she whispered. Out loud, she began to sing softly, a country twang lacing her words. My roots are planted in the past, though my life is changing fast. Who I am is who I want to be. A single mom who works too hard, who loves her kids and never stops. With gentle hands and the heart of a fighter, I am a survivor. Ben, seemingly unfazed by the dramatic entrance or the musical interlude, tugged on Reba's sleeve. Mom, make us some pancakes. Reba snapped out of her reverie. No. I am making everyone a power smoothie. And this afternoon, I am taking a power walk. Mrs. H let out a loud, mocking laugh from her corner by the pizza box. Power walk? Oh please, forget your power cane. Van pointed an accusatory finger at Mrs. H. That is not nice. Mom does aerobics. Mrs. H took another bite of pizza. She could shatter her hip. And yet, in the blink of an eye, I can make you both homeless if you keep insulting me. Barbara Jean, feeling ignored, stepped into the center of the kitchen, clapping her hands loudly. Hey, everybody, look at me. I am here and I am. Oh, shut up and have a donut, Mrs. H interrupted grumpily, shoving the pizza box toward the center of the island. Barbara Jean ignored the older woman, her bright eyes locking onto the green concoction Reba was pouring into a tall glass. Oh, Reba, you are not still trying to lose weight by drinking those silly power smoothies, are you? Jordan, my personal trainer, says that those things are absolutely loaded with hidden carbohydrates. Reba set the blender down with a loud clack. Barbara Jean, I am all for adopting a healthy new lifestyle. But seriously, I mean, there has to be some sort of limit. She paused, noticing that Van and Ben were staring unblinkingly at Barbara Jean. Reba snapped her fingers in front of their faces. Will you two stop staring at her? Van blinked, shaking his head as if waking from a trance. What? We have been staring at her for, like, the past 2 hours. Cheyenne leaned against Van's shoulder, a hint of genuine awe in her voice. Well, she is pretty. Barbara Jean beamed, fluffing her perfectly styled hair. I am pretty. Reba rolled her eyes. Well, of course you are. You have always been pretty, Barbara Jean, but she is right. She is new pretty. Oh, Van, Cheyenne said softly, her tone turning slightly sharp. That is such a funny story you can tell to your next wife if you keep staring. Van immediately snapped his attention to his wife, his survival instincts kicking in. Cheyenne, you really think that I think she is new pretty? No way. Oh yeah. She is like a bleached-out Halle Berry. Barbara Jean clapped her hands together. Thank you. You are welcome, Van replied, trying to sound casual. I am going to go make some phone calls. Somewhere else. He quickly darted out of the kitchen. Ben lingered, his teenage curiosity getting the better of him. He stepped closer to Barbara Jean. So, Barbara Jean. Yeah? She answered, leaning down slightly. Is it true that when you lose a massive amount of weight, you want to do, you know? Ben made a vague, bouncing gesture with his hands.
Bounce ka bounce.
Van poked his head back around the corner of the doorway. Ben, he scolded loudly. Then, noticing Cheyenne's glare, he added, Oh, Cheyenne, do not be upset. You are still incredibly hot. He looked back at Barbara Jean, trying to find an insult to appease his wife. She is like a bleached-out Jan Brady. Yes, Januari Jan Brady. Barbara Jean tossed her hair proudly. I am Marcia. Marcia, Marcia, Marcia. With the boys thorough ridiculous, entirely contrary to her natural beauty. Van stepped forward, reaching out to gently take the wig from her trembling hands. Cheyenne, put that down. He tossed the wig onto the chair in the corner and took both of her hands in his. He looked deep into her eyes, wanting to make absolutely sure she understood what he was about to say. Listen to me, Van said, his voice lower and more serious than usual. I think it is a good thing that when I look at you, I do not see the beautiful girl with the killer body. I see my wife. Cheyenne blinked, a tear tracing a path down her cheek. And I am attracted to her, Van continued, his thumb gently wiping the tear away. Whether she is all dressed up, ready to go out, or just sitting on the couch wearing those washed-up flannel pajamas. Really? Cheyenne whispered, her voice barely audible. Yeah. Van nodded slowly, a warm, genuine smile spreading across his face. You are beautiful to me because of who you are. Cheyenne let out a wet, shaky laugh, stepping into his arms and resting her head against his chest. Ah, I feel kinda stupid. Van wrapped his arms tightly around her, burying his face in her hair. That is also who you are, and I love it. They stood there for a long moment, the quiet intimacy of the room wrapping around them like a protective blanket. The insecurities and ridiculous jealousies of the day faded away, leaving only the solid, unshakable foundation of their love. Eventually, Van pulled back slightly, a mischievous glint in his eye. Come on, you. Where are we going? Cheyenne asked, wiping her eyes and smiling. Oh, we are going upstairs, Van announced, taking her hand and leading her toward the door. Cheyenne stopped, pulling him back slightly. Hold on. I thought you did not want me to leave you alone. Van grinned, pulling her close one more time. Sometimes I want to feel new pretty. As they walked out of the room together, the house finally settled into a peaceful silence. The diets would fail, the arguments would return, and the beautiful, messy chaos of their lives would continue. But for tonight, they were exactly where they needed to be, anchored by laughter, forgiveness, and the enduring weight of love. The morning sun filtered through the sheer curtains of the suburban kitchen, casting a warm and golden glow over the worn oak table. It was a kitchen that had seen countless family breakfasts, late-night conversations, and the chaotic beauty of daily life. However, on this particular morning, the atmosphere was thick with a mixture of awe, exhaustion, and mild panic. The pantry doors stood slightly ajar, revealing shelves that were usually heavily stocked with snacks, cereals, and baked goods. Today, they looked as though a gentle but highly efficient storm had swept through them. Standing in the center of the room, looking utterly bewildered, was a young man with a charmingly goofy expression. He crossed his arms and shook his head, his eyes scanning the desolate landscape of the kitchen counters. Beside him stood his wife, a beautiful young woman who shared his look of profound astonishment. That woman is out of control, she whispered, her voice carrying a blend of disbelief and awe. She is like a locust. She has eaten everything in the house. Her husband stepped forward, gently picking up a small glass object from the center of the dining table. He turned it upside down, shaking it lightly. She has eaten everything in Mr. H's house, he added, his voice dropping to a theatrical whisper. Look, even the salt and pepper shakers are empty. The young woman sighed, leaning against the counter. Why do not you just tell her she has eaten too much? He quickly took a step back, holding his hands up in defense. You tell her. No, you tell her, she retorted, her eyes narrowing playfully. Rock, paper, scissors. Ben, you know you are going to lose. The younger brother, standing near the refrigerator, puffed out his chest with a sudden burst of unearned confidence. Not this time. 1, 2, 3. They threw their hands out simultaneously. The younger boy stared down at his extended fingers, then groaned in deep frustration. Dang it, how do you always beat me? Because you always pick scissors. The older boy replied with a smug, knowing smile. Of course I do, it is my system, the younger brother argued, trying to salvage his pride. So you will tell her? Yeah, fine. The older boy paused, his sudden bravery evaporating as quickly as it had arrived. Actually, no, I do not want to. You tell her, the younger brother pleaded, turning to the young woman. Come on, you tell her. Please, please, please. She shook her head, her golden hair catching the morning light. No, Ben, why should I tell her? Because girls can say that kind of stuff without having to come across like all they care about are looks, he reasoned, his logic slightly flawed but delivered with utmost sincerity. By the way, he added, attempting a charming smile, you have been looking hot lately. She rolled her eyes but could not hide a small, flattered smile. Oh, you. Just then, the swinging door of the kitchen pushed open, and the matriarch of the household entered. She carried herself with the weary grace of a single mother who managed the world on her shoulders but still found the strength to keep walking forward. She held a large, flat cardboard box in her hands, the unmistakable aroma of baked dough and melted cheese wafting through the room. Look, sweetie, why did not I tell her? The matriarch offered, sensing the tension in the room and stepping in to mediate, as she always did. Thank you, the young woman breathed a sigh of immense relief. Hey, 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 the matriarch announced, setting the heavy box down on the center island. Guess who Luigi gave the free pizza to? Luigi does not have to roll it out of the bed every morning. The young woman looked at the box, then back at her mother, her expression softening into gentle concern. You know, Mom, we really do not need another pizza. I mean, it is really just the three of us. Oh, I know, the mother replied, brushing a stray lock of auburn hair from her forehead. But I had to take it. It was free. Somebody will eat it. Instantly, the younger boy raised his hand high in the air. Dibs. The mother leaned against the counter, suddenly looking thoughtful. You know what? I am thinking maybe we should all try and get a little healthier around here. Before anyone could fully process this sudden shift towards physical wellness, heavy footsteps echoed from the hallway. In walked a woman carrying a massive plate piled high with food. She had always been a large, vibrant presence in their lives, full of loud laughter and an endless appetite. What are you talking about? The woman asked cheerfully, completely oblivious to the family intervention that was forming around her. I am very healthy. The patriarch of the family, who had been quietly reading the newspaper in the corner, suddenly stood up, unable to contain his worry any longer. All right, that is it, Mrs. H. Drop it, Mrs. H. Drop it, drop it, drop it. Drop it. He rushed over, gently but firmly trying to guide the plate away from her hands. Mrs. H. I cannot stand to see you do this to yourself. It is like you are trying to eat yourself to death. Why? What happened to you? What is different? Before the woman could answer, a loud, joyful voice echoed from the front door. Yoo-hoo! I am here, and I am thin. The entire family turned toward the living room archway. Standing there was a woman they all recognized, but she looked completely transformed. The once familiar, soft curves were gone, replaced by a remarkably slender silhouette. She stood proudly, beaming with a radiant, almost blinding self-confidence. The younger boy stared in absolute shock. Yeah, thin as a stick and dumb as one, he muttered under his breath, though his eyes were wide with genuine astonishment. Yikes, another voice whispered. What is eating Cooper grape? Look at that. They look like the number 10. Suddenly, the matriarch bolted upright in her bed, her heart pounding against her ribs. She was covered in a cold sweat, breathing heavily. She looked around her dark, quiet bedroom. The moonlight poured through the window, illuminating the familiar surroundings. She pressed a hand to her chest, letting out a long, shuddering sigh of relief. Oh, thank God it was just a nightmare, she whispered to the empty room, falling back onto her pillows. But the universe had a very strange sense of humor. The very next morning, as she was standing in the kitchen preparing breakfast, the front door swung open in reality. Yoo-hoo! I am here, and I am thin. The mother closed her eyes tightly, gripping the edge of the kitchen counter as the upbeat, cheerful voice pierced the morning air. And the nightmare continues, she muttered to herself, resigning to her fate. Her mind briefly wandered to a comforting thought, a mantra she often repeated to herself when the world felt too chaotic. My roots are planted in the past, though my life is changing fast. Who I am is who I want to be. A single mom who works too hard, who loves her kids and never stops. With gentle hands and the heart of a fighter, I am a survivor. She opened her eyes, ready to face the day. Her younger son tugged at her sleeve. Mom, make us some pancakes. No, she replied firmly, pulling out a large blender from the cabinet. I am making everyone a power smoothie. And this afternoon I am taking a power walk. Her son groaned, rolling his eyes dramatically. Power walk? Oh, forget your power cane. The older boy laughed, patting his brother on the shoulder. That is not nice. Mom does aerobics. She could shatter her hip. The mother paused, leveling a terrifyingly calm stare at the two boys. And yet, in the blink of an eye, I can make you both homeless. The kitchen fell perfectly silent. Just then, the newly transformed woman bounced into the kitchen, glowing with an energy that seemed to vibrate through the walls. Hey, everybody. I am here and I am. Oh, shut up and have a donut. The mother interrupted, gesturing toward a pink pastry box on the table, trying to mask her deep-seated insecurities with sharp humor. The woman gasped playfully, placing a manicured hand over her heart. Oh, Reba, you are not still trying to lose weight by drinking those power smoothies, are you? Jordan, my trainer, says that those are loaded with hidden carbohydrates. The mother gripped the blender a little tighter. Barbara Jean, I am all for adopting a healthy new lifestyle. But seriously, I mean, there has to be some sort of... She stopped mid-sentence, noticing that her son-in-law was staring blankly at the newly thin woman, his jaw slightly slack. Will you stop staring at her? What? The young man blinked, suddenly snapping out of his trance. We have been staring at her for like the past 2 hours. Well, she is pretty. The newly thin woman clasped her hands together, her eyes sparkling with absolute delight. I am pretty. The young man nodded earnestly. Well, of course you are. You have always been pretty. But she is new pretty. His wife, standing right beside him, crossed her arms over her chest, a look of profound disbelief crossing her face. Oh, Van, that is such a funny story you can tell to your next wife. The young man turned to his wife, oblivious to the dangerous ice in her tone. Van, you really think that I am new pretty? The newly thin woman asked, interrupting the marital tension. Oh yeah, the young man continued, digging his proverbial grave deeper. You are like a bleached-out Halle Berry. Thank you, the woman beamed, tossing her hair over her shoulder. You are welcome, he smiled proudly. His wife let out a sharp, incredulous breath. I am going to go make some calls, she announced loudly, turning on her heel and marching out of the kitchen with heavy, angry steps. So, Barbara Jean, the young man said, leaning against the counter, completely unaware of the damage he had just done. Yeah. Is it true that when you lose a bunch of weight you want to do, you know?
Bounce ka bounce.
A sharp gasp echoed from the hallway. Fun. He spun around, suddenly realizing his massive error. Oh, Cheyenne, do not be upset. You are still hot. You are like a bleached-out Jan Brady.
Januari Jan Brady.
I am Marcia, she yelled from the other room, her voice trembling with indignation.
Marcia, Marcia, Marcia.
Barbara Jean turned back to the mother, practically vibrating with excitement. So, Reba, I got an idea. You should come down to the gymnasium and meet Jordan, my trainer. Seriously, he will change your life. I mean, he is so much more than a personal trainer. He taught me how to work out and eat right. We go over the clothes I am going to wear, the movies I am going to see. The mother paused, raising an eyebrow in deep skepticism. Well, the movies you are going to see? What does that have to do with you getting in shape? Oh, nothing, Barbara Jean laughed. A light, airy sound. We just have the same sense of humor. That Tim Allen just kills us. I mean, whether he is playing a dog or Santa Claus, you just buy it. So, you will come meet Jordan? No, the mother answered flatly, turning back to her blender. Oh, come on, Reba, Barbara Jean pleaded, placing a warm hand on her friend's shoulder. I want my best girlfriend to meet my best boyfriend. The mother stopped pouring. Boyfriend? Barbara Jean's eyes widened in sudden panic, realizing her slip of the tongue. Oh, whoops, that came out wrong. The mother slowly turned around, a suspicious look forming in her eyes. Well, thanks anyway, but I am just going to be here with my smoothie. She took a sip of the thick, brown liquid and grimaced slightly, though she tried to hide it. Delicious, just like fruit gravy. Later that afternoon, the patriarch of the family wandered into the living room, looking deeply troubled. He spotted Barbara Jean gathering her fitness bag. Oh hey, Barbara Jean, here you are. Listen, how would you like to go out and grab a quick lunch? Just the two of us? Barbara Jean smiled apologetically, slinging the bright pink bag over her slender shoulder. Oh honey, I cannot. I am going to the gymnasium. He frowned, disappointment washing over his face. Well, cannot you skip it just this once? Come on. I will take you to that romantic French place you like so much. She let out a soft laugh, adjusting her tight workout clothes. Really? Skip the gymnasium and eat French food? No confondu bras. She gave him a quick kiss on the cheek and bounded out the door, leaving him standing alone in the living room. He slumped onto the sofa, running a hand over his face. Man, she blew me off again, he muttered as his former wife walked into the room. All she wants to do is go down to the fitness center and spend time with Jordan, her trainer. Exactly, she replied, taking a seat in the armchair opposite him. Frankly, I like the new behind, but the new attitude not so much. He looked at her, an eyebrow raised. Oh, that is really funny coming from the old behind. She ignored the jab, leaning forward. Jordan is so great. Jordan is so toned and funny. Well, I got news for you. Nobody is toned and funny. Rob, you are overreacting. She sighed, trying to inject some reason into the situation. Oh, really? He challenged, his voice rising in panic. Yeah, I think she might be having an affair with this guy. Barbara Jean with her trainer? I mean, sure, he is probably a better man than you are, better looking and younger. But that is it, he declared, standing up and pacing the floor. Reba, I need you to help me out. I want you to go down to the fitness center and see if there is anything going on. You know, spy on him for me. She stared at him as if he had grown a second head. No way. You know, Barbara Jean may have a long list of faults. And I have that list if you need a copy. But she is nothing if not faithful. Yeah, right, he scoffed, crossing his arms defensive. Up until now. But now that she is thin and hot, she has all kinds of options. Look, Brock, she said, her tone softening slightly, sensing the deep insecurity beneath his words. If it is worrying you that much, be honest with her. Tell her how you feel. Tell her that you just need a hug every now and then. He stared at her for a long moment, then let out a sarcastic laugh. Oh, now, there is a great idea. See? Why, since my competition is a macho, muscular dude, I should go the other way and appear all weak and whiny. Your solutions are ridiculous. Reba makes me to spy on those. Stupid. He stormed out of the room, leaving her alone with her thoughts. She looked down at her brown power smoothie, taking another brave sip. Hard to believe they are supposed to be good for you. The next day, she found herself walking down the street, determined to get her steps in. She passed an elderly woman moving at a brisk, determined pace. Hey, Mrs. H, you off for your power walk? She called out cheerfully. Man, I love old people. Power walking, moving along, swinging their arms. Like there is a big sale for false teeth. No, I am not going for my power walk, she grumbled to herself, stopping in her tracks. This whole physical thing is getting everybody acting wacko. Back at the house, her son-in-law was having a deep conversation with her younger son. What do you mean? The boy asked, looking confused. Well, your dad thinks that the guy who gave Barbara Jean her new body is wanting to take a forespin. He probably does. What are you talking about? The young man replied, shaking his head. Guys are pigs. They are dogs. They are all animals. They just care about hot women. They are hot dogs. My point is that when you got a hot lady, you got to keep your guard up at all times. I used to, his wife said softly, entering the room with a somber expression. He looked up, panicked. You used to? No, baby, do not take it like that. It is just that I have grown into a mature, stable individual. That is all. She turned away, tears welling in her eyes. Well, I do not like it. Later, the young man found his father-in-law sitting quietly in the kitchen. Where have you been? I went to get something to eat. So, Ben, you think that Brock might be right about this trainer? Sure, this guy could be hot for Barbara Jean, but since Barbara Jean is not looking to play, there is no problem. And it is obvious Barbara Jean is not looking. Why is this obvious? 2 reasons, the younger boy chimed in, sounding remarkably wise for his age. Barbara Jean is not good at keeping secrets. and she thinks of you as her best friend. If she were fooling around with this guy, she would be constantly talking about him to you. Heck, she would probably even want you to meet him. The mother paused, the words sinking in. Meet him? Oh, where are you going? The father asked. Go down to the gymnasium with the rest of the wackos, she declared, grabbing her keys. All right, he called after her. Well, keep those arms a-swinging. The fitness center was a sensory overload of bright fluorescent lights, loud rhythmic music, and the heavy scent of perspiration and determination. It was a world entirely foreign to her. She walked through the entrance, feeling entirely out of place in her loose-fitting cotton clothing amid a sea of sleek, brightly colored spandex. Oh hey Reba, you came, a familiar, joyful voice called out. She turned to see Barbara Jean waving enthusiastically from across the room. Yeah, Reba managed to say, her eyes darting around the room at the impossibly fit people lifting enormous weights. Man, there is a lot of beautiful people around here. You should see them naked in the shower. Hey, a deep, resonant voice interrupted her thoughts. She turned to see a man who looked as though he had been carved directly out of marble. He was tall, incredibly muscular, with a blindingly white smile and perfectly styled hair. Jordan, Barbara Jean gasped, practically glowing as she looked at him. Hey, ready to start, Barbara Jean? He asked, his voice smooth and encouraging. Yeah. Hey, you look great in that outfit, he complimented warmly. Oh, well, the other woman is getting kind of baggy, Barbara Jean laughed, making a self-deprecating joke about her former size. Can you believe her? She did the impossible. She lost all that weight and kept these fellas. Oh. Okay, Jordan, Barbara Jean said, finally catching her breath. Jordan, this is my friend, Reba. Hey, I am Jordan, he smiled, extending a massive, calloused hand. I am Reba, she replied, shaking his hand cautiously, feeling her own hand disappear within his grip. So, you gonna join us, Reba? He asked, his enthusiasm completely genuine. Oh, I do not know. I just think that me and my fellows will just watch for a while. Well, Reba, you are not going to get into shape by just watching. You need to sweat a little. Yeah, but you guys have got to understand, it has been a while since I have been in a gymnasium like this, and I do not think. Before she could finish her excuse, Jordan had already turned his attention back to his client. Hello, there. Barbara Jean, you really are getting limber. Remember when you could not put your leg over my head? Remember when I did not want to? She giggled. Reba watched in mounting horror as the trainer began physically manipulating Barbara Jean into a stretch that looked both anatomically impossible and highly questionable. Is that legal? She stammered. I mean, necessary? It is critical to stretch the muscles out before you exercise them. Jordan explained with absolute professional seriousness, completely oblivious to Reba's utter shock. Yeah. Otherwise, you could really hurt something. Turn over. Reba, you need to watch this one, Barbara Jean called out from her twisted position on the mat. This one is my favorite. All right, now this gives a good stretch to the back and chest muscles. Really should do this once a day. Oh, I would do it all day if I could. Barbara Jean sighed blissfully. Reba tugged at the collar of her shirt, feeling suddenly very warm. Is this one of these fitness centers that has the heat on real high? I am sweating. Okay. Oh wow. Time for some weightlifting. Oh good. That is enough of that stretching. Hello. Okay. Knock this out. Yeah. Okay. All right. I think I have seen enough. So what do you think? Barbara Jean asked, sitting up and glowing with exertion. You have any interest in getting a personal trainer? Only if he takes me out to dinner first, Reba replied dryly. Are you sure, Reba? Seriously, this is one of the best relationships I have ever had. Oh, I think Jordan has his hands full with you. Oh, you are a beginner, Reba. You will start with Dot. A woman who looked like an Olympic powerlifter stepped forward, cracking her knuckles. Yeah. This is Reba, Jordan introduced them. She seems a little tense. I would spend some extra time on the stretching. Hey, Dot grunted. Get down there. An hour later, Reba returned home, walking stiffly into the living room where Brock was pacing nervously. So, did you see him? What is he like? Is he little? Could I take him? He is big, Reba replied, rubbing her sore shoulders. But he is not as big as Dot. So, what do you think? Is there something going on there? Look, Brock, I was hoping that I could go down to the gymnasium and check things out and come back and tell you that there is nothing to worry about. But, that is it, he shouted, throwing his hands in the air. Reba, come on. Okay, I do not know if they are having an affair or not, but if they keep working out like that, they might be having a baby. Man, I knew there was something going on. Just then, the front door swung open, and Barbara Jean walked in, radiating pure joy. Hey, everybody. I am here and I am saying, well. Oh, hi, honey, Brock said, his voice dripping with forced casualness and underlying fury. Do not you hi honey me. What are you talking about? Oh man, Brock exploded, unable to contain his jealousy any longer. Did you honestly think that I would not find out about you and Jordan? What? Barbara Jean gasped, her eyes going wide. We were working out. It was perfectly innocent. Reba, tell him what you saw, Brock demanded, pointing a trembling finger. I do not want to get involved, Reba sighed, sinking deeply into the couch cushions, exhausted by the endless drama of her extended, complicated family. She said you are having an affair, Brock accused, stepping closer to his wife. Any more than I already am, Reba muttered under her breath, a quiet commentary on her own strange life. Okay, Jordan and I are not having an affair, Barbara Jean stated firmly, crossing her arms over her chest. He is gay. What? Brock stopped dead in his tracks, blinking in profound confusion. Reba, do you honestly think I would let a straight man grab my breasts? Barbara Jean asked, turning to her friend with a look of deep offense. Excuse me, Brock choked out, his face turning a bright shade of red. He grabbed your breasts? He is gay, Barbara Jean repeated, throwing her hands up in the air. He was not touching them. He was arranging them. Carry on with your lives. She turned away, shaking her head in deep disappointment. No,
Reba.
everything is not fine. I had no idea you were so threatened by the new me. The slim waist, the toned legs, the phallus. The phallus? Reba asked, entirely lost. The girls, Barbara Jean clarified, gesturing to her chest. Oh, the puppies. I am not threatened by you, Reba replied, standing up to face her friend. Really?
Yeah.
Then why did you go down to the gymnasium? What were you spying on me? No. Reba paused, a flush of guilt rising to her cheeks. Okay, yes. I went down to the fitness center because I thought there was something going on between you and Jordan. Why would you think that? Barbara Jean asked, genuine hurt echoing in her voice. Because you have changed. I have not. Yes, you have, Reba insisted gently but firmly. Ever since you lost all that weight, you are pushy and obnoxious, and you always want to be the center of attention. Hello? I have always been that way, Barbara Jean countered, completely devoid of self-awareness but completely accurate in her self-assessment. Brock nodded slowly from the corner. She kind of got a point there. Yeah, well, something has changed, Barbara Jean, Reba continued, her voice softening. Yeah. The way you guys look at me. I am still the same Barbara Jean I always was. I am just less winded. Reba looked at the floor, letting out a long, heavy breath. I know she might be right. Could be us. I am sorry, honey, she said, turning to Brock. Reba just got me all worked up. That is. Look, Barbara Jean, Reba interrupted, taking a step forward. The truth is I think I went down to the gymnasium almost hoping that I would find you doing something wrong. You know, anything. So I could feel superior to you and your skinny behind. So, I am sorry. Sorry? Barbara Jean's face completely lit up, a brilliant, forgiving smile breaking through her previous hurt. Yeah. This is great. For the first time since we have known each other, you want to be me. I do not want to be you, Reba corrected quickly. I know. It is even better. You want to look like me. Barbara Jean bounded over and threw her arms around Reba in a crushing, suffocating hug. Hey, where are you going? Brock asked as Reba tried to escape the embrace. Just gonna go grab something to eat. I will see you next year. Reba managed to gasp out, extracting herself and fleeing toward the sanctuary of the kitchen. Meanwhile, upstairs in the hallway, the younger brother walked past the young man's bedroom. Hey buddy, what are we watching? No, we are not. Want a rock, paper, scissor for it? Let us go. You are gonna pick scissors, are not you? The older boy challenged. Get out. Down the hall, the young man walked into his bedroom, his heart heavy with the mistakes of the previous day. Hey honey, hey baby, I need to talk to you. His wife was sitting at her vanity mirror, her back turned to him. Oh honey, I just got the television. Well, I started thinking that maybe you do not think of me as new pretty because I do not do enough to keep your interest, she said, her voice small and deeply vulnerable. No honey, you were way hot. Guilty. But anyway, she continued, slowly turning around. I thought that maybe I should, change my look every now and then just to keep things fresh. So, I bought a wig. She turned fully toward him. Atop her beautiful natural blonde hair sat a jet black, incredibly severe wig. It looked entirely unnatural, completely masking the bright, beautiful girl he had fallen deeply in love with. He stared at her for a long moment, a gentle, understanding smile forming on his lips. Cheyenne, put that down. Listen to me. I think it is a good thing that when I look at you, I do not see the beautiful girl with the killer body. I see my wife, and I am attracted to her whether she is all dressed up, ready to go out, or just sitting on the couch wearing those washed-up flannel pajamas. Her eyes widened, the profound insecurity melting away instantly. Really? Yeah, he nodded, walking over and gently taking the ridiculous wig off her head, tossing it onto the bed. You are beautiful to me because of who you are. I feel kind of stupid, she admitted, a blush coloring her cheeks. That is also who you are, and I love it. Come on, you. Where are we going? Oh, we are going upstairs. Hold on. I thought you did not want me to leave you alone. Sometimes I want to feel new pretty. She smiled, taking his hand, knowing with absolute certainty that she was, and always would be, perfectly beautiful exactly as she was. The morning sun filtered through the curtains of the suburban kitchen, casting long golden rays across the wooden floorboards. It was a space usually filled with the comforting aromas of breakfast and the lively chatter of a busy household. But today, an air of profound disbelief hung over the room. Two figures stood before the open pantry doors, their eyes wide with a mixture of awe and absolute dismay. The shelves, usually bursting with colorful boxes of cereal, bags of snacks, and canned goods, were practically bare. That woman is out of control, Ben whispered, shaking his head slowly as he surveyed the empty shelves. He leaned against the kitchen island, running a hand through his hair. She is like a locust. She has eaten everything in the house. Standing next to him, Cheyenne let out a heavy sigh, crossing her arms over her chest. She has eaten everything in Mr. H's house too. Look, she said, pointing a trembling finger toward the center of the kitchen table. Even the salt and pepper shakers are empty. Who eats all the salt and pepper? Why do you not just tell her she has eaten too much? You tell her. Ben shot back immediately, his eyes widening in defensive panic. No, you tell her, Cheyenne insisted, taking a step back. She raised her fists, bumping them together. Rock, paper, scissors. Come on, Ben. You know you are going to lose. Ben straightened his posture, a spark of stubborn determination lighting up his eyes. Not this time, he declared confidently. They faced each other, the tension thick in the quiet kitchen. 1, 2, 3. They threw their hands out simultaneously. Cheyenne's hand lay flat, representing paper. Ben's fingers were extended in a sharp V shape. Before Ben could even process his victory, Cheyenne quickly adjusted her hand, turning her paper into a rock that swiftly crushed his imaginary scissors. Dang it, Ben exclaimed, throwing his hands up in the air in sheer frustration. How do you always beat me? Cheyenne offered a smug, victorious smile. Because you always pick scissors. Of course I do, Ben grumbled. looking down at his treacherous fingers. It is my system. It is a foolproof system that just happens to fail every single time. So, you will tell her? Yeah, fine, Cheyenne said, her brave facade instantly crumbling. She let out a long, defeated breath. No, I do not want to. You tell her, Ben pleaded, clasping his hands together in a dramatic begging motion. Come on, you tell her. Please, please, please. No, Ben, why should I tell her? Cheyenne argued, leaning against the counter. Because girls can say that kind of stuff without having to come across like all they care about are looks. By the way. She paused, her expression softening as she looked at Ben, offering him a genuine, complimentary smile. You have been looking hot lately. Ben blinked, pleasantly surprised by the sudden shift in conversation. A small, shy smile crept onto his face. Oh, you, he murmured, his cheeks flushing slightly. Before their debate could continue, Reba marched into the kitchen, a pillar of maternal strength and common sense. She took one look at the open, barren pantry and the two panicked faces, immediately assessing the situation. Look, sweetie, Reba said, her voice calm and authoritative. Why do I not tell her? Thank you. Ben and Cheyenne exhaled in unison, slumping with immense relief. Just then, the back door swung open, and the matriarch of the family bustled in, carrying a large, flat cardboard box that radiated the savory scent of baked cheese and tomato sauce. Hey, 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 she announced cheerfully. Guess who Luigi gave the free pizza to? Luigi does not have to roll it out of the bed every morning. Reba looked at the pizza box, then up at the ceiling, seeking patience. You know, Mom, we really do not need another pizza. I mean, it is really just the three of us here right now. Oh, I know, her mother replied, setting the box down on the counter with a triumphant thud. But I had to take it. It was free. Somebody will eat it. Oh, dibs, Ben called out immediately, his previous concerns about the locust-like eating habits of their guest entirely forgotten at the promise of free Italian food. Reba placed her hands on her hips, looking around at her family. You know what, Mom? She began, her tone shifting into one of gentle but firm resolve. I am thinking maybe we should all try and get a little healthier around here. Her mother looked at her as if she had just spoken in a foreign language. What are you talking about? I am very healthy. Suddenly, the front door burst open. The atmosphere in the room shifted from comedic bickering to utter shock. Brock, known affectionately and sometimes sarcastically as Mr. H, stood in the doorway. He looked deeply distressed, his eyes fixed on something just outside the frame. All right, that is it, Mrs. H, Brock commanded, his voice echoing through the hallway. Drop it, Mrs. H. Drop it, drop it, drop it. He stepped into the room, looking utterly exhausted. Drop it, Mrs. H. I cannot stand to see you do this to yourself. It is like you are trying to eat yourself to death. Why? He paused, blinking rapidly as if trying to clear his vision. He stared at the spot where his wife usually stood, his brow furrowing in deep confusion. What happened to you? He asked, his voice dropping to an astonished whisper. What is different? A bright, musical voice echoed from the hallway, followed by a dramatic entrance that left everyone in the room speechless. You who? I am here, and I am thin. Barbara Jean stepped into the light. The transformation was nothing short of miraculous. She had shed a massive amount of weight, her posture was impeccable, and she wore a stylish, form-fitting outfit that accentuated a figure no one knew she possessed. Yeah, thin as a stick, and dumb as one, someone muttered under their breath, unable to process the shocking visual change. Yikes, another voice added, staring at her incredibly slender frame. What is eating Cooper grape? Look at that. They look like the number 10. Brock bolted upright in his bed, his chest heaving, sweat beading on his forehead. He grabbed his chest, breathing heavily in the dark bedroom. Oh, thank God, he gasped, his heart hammering against his ribs. It was just a nightmare. But as the morning sun rose and the family gathered in the kitchen once again, the front door swung open in reality. Yoo-hoo! I am here, and I am thin. Brock buried his face in his hands, letting out a soft, defeated groan. And the nightmare continues. Reba stood by the blender, watching the chaos unfold with a mixture of amusement and resignation. She hummed a familiar, comforting tune under her breath, finding solace in the rhythm of her own life. My roots are planted in the past, though my life is changing fast. Who I am is who I want to be. A single mom who works too hard, who loves her kids and never stops. With gentle hands and the heart of a fighter, I am a survivor. Mom, make us some pancakes, Ben requested, snapping Reba out of her internal musical reverie. No, Reba stated firmly, dropping a handful of spinach and a scoop of protein powder into the blender. I am making everyone a power smoothie. And this afternoon, I am taking a power walk. Van, Cheyenne's husband, walked into the kitchen, rubbing his sleepy eyes. He caught the tail end of Reba's announcement. Power walk? He repeated, a teasing smirk forming on his face. Oh, do not forget your power cane. Van, that is not nice, Cheyenne scolded, hitting him playfully on the arm. Mom does aerobics. She could shatter her hip. Reba pressed the button on the blender, letting the loud whirring drown out their teasing for a moment. When she turned it off, she poured the thick, green liquid into a tall glass and fixed Van and Cheyenne with a deeply unamused stare. And yet, in the blink of an eye, I can make you both homeless, she reminded them sweetly. The front door opened again, and Barbara Jean breezed into the kitchen. She radiated confidence, her hair perfectly styled, her makeup flawless. Hey, everybody, she sang out brightly. I am here and I am. Oh, shut up and have a donut, Reba interjected, sliding a pastry box across the counter. Barbara Jean waved the box away with a delicate, manicured hand, her expression one of polite horror. Oh, Reba, you are not still trying to lose weight by drinking those power smoothies, are you? Jordan, my personal trainer, says that those are loaded with hidden carbohydrates. Barbara Jean, Reba began, gripping her green smoothie tightly. I am all for adopting a healthy new lifestyle, but seriously, there has to be some sort of... She trailed off, noticing that Van was staring open-mouthed at Barbara Jean. Reba snapped her fingers in front of his face. Will you stop staring at her? Van blinked, shaking his head as if waking from a trance. What? We have been staring at her for, the past 2 hours. Well, she is pretty, Cheyenne admitted quietly, a hint of insecurity creeping into her normally confident voice. I am pretty, Reba pointed out, standing tall. Well, of course you are, Van agreed quickly, eager to please his mother-in-law. You have always been pretty, but she is new pretty. Reba rolled her eyes, shaking her head at his sheer lack of tact. Oh, Van, that is such a funny story you can tell to your next wife. Barbara Jean, however, was glowing under the attention. She turned to Van, fluttering her eyelashes playfully. Van, do you really think that I am new pretty? Oh, yeah. Van nodded enthusiastically, completely missing his wife's murderous glare. You are like a bleached-out Halle Berry. Thank you, Barbara Jean beamed, fluffing her blonde hair. You are welcome, Van replied proudly. He clapped his hands together. I am going to go make some calls. As Van left the room, Ben leaned across the island, his curiosity getting the better of him. So, Barbara Jean. Yeah. Is it true that when you lose a bunch of weight, you want to do, you know? Ben made a vague, bouncing motion with his hands.
Bounce ka bounce.
Hum. Cheyenne yelled toward the hallway, her face burning with embarrassment. Van popped his head back into the kitchen, looking thoroughly confused. Oh, Cheyenne, do not be upset. You are still hot. You are like a bleached-out Jan Brady.
Januari Jan Brady.
He nodded as if he had just offered the highest compliment possible. Cheyenne's jaw dropped. I am Marcia. Marcia. she practically screamed, storming out of the kitchen. Barbara Jean turned her attention back to Reba, her eyes sparkling with excitement. So, Reba, I got an idea. You should come down to the gym and meet Jordan, my trainer. Seriously, he will change your life. I mean, he is so much more than a personal trainer. He taught me how to work out and eat right. She leaned in closer, lowering her voice as if sharing a wonderful secret. We go over the clothes I am going to wear, the movies I am going to see. Reba raised an eyebrow, stirring her thick green smoothie with a long spoon. Whoa, the movies you are going to see? What does that have to do with you getting in shape? Oh, nothing, Barbara Jean giggled, waving her hand dismissively. We just have the same sense of humor. That Tim Allen just kills us. I mean, whether he is playing a dog or Santa Claus, you just buy it. So, you will come meet Jordan. No, Reba answered flatly, taking a cautious sip of her drink. Oh, come on, Reba, Barbara Jean pleaded, pouting her lips. I want my best girlfriend to meet my best boyfriend. She froze, her eyes widening in panic as she realized what she had just said. Boyfriend? Oh, whoops, that came out wrong. Oh, Reba watched her carefully, a suspicion beginning to form in her mind. Well, thanks anyway. But I am just going to be here with my smoothie. Delicious, just like fruit gravy. Later that afternoon, the house was quieter. Reba was wiping down the kitchen counters when Barbara Jean walked back in, dressed in bright, neon workout gear. She looked vibrant, energetic, and completely unlike her former self. Oh, hey, Barbara Jean, Reba greeted her, tossing the dish towel aside. Here you are. Listen, how would you like to go out and grab a quick lunch? Just the two of us. Barbara Jean looked genuinely apologetic. Oh, honey, I cannot. I am going to the gym. Well, cannot you skip it just this once? Reba urged, wanting to spend some quality time with her friend and perhaps figure out why she was acting so strangely. Come on. I will take you to that romantic French place you like so much. Really? Skip the gym and eat French food. Barbara Jean placed a hand over her heart, looking deeply tempted, but she eventually shook her head. No confondu bras. With a cheerful wave, she hurried out the door. A few moments later, Brock stepped into the kitchen. He looked deeply troubled, the lines on his face more pronounced than usual. He slumped into one of the kitchen chairs, letting out a heavy sigh. Man, she blew me off again. All she wants to do is go down to the gym and spend time with Jordan, her trainer. Reba leaned against the counter, sympathetic to his plight. Exactly. Frankly, I like the new but the new attitude not so much. Brock shot her a sour look. Oh, that is really funny coming from the old butt. He stood up and began pacing the length of the kitchen floor. Jordan is so great. Jordan is so toned and funny. Well, I have got news for you. Nobody is toned and funny. Brock, you are overreacting, Reba reasoned, trying to calm his rising anxiety. Oh, really? Brock stopped pacing and looked at her, his expression serious. Yeah, I think she might be having an affair with this guy. Reba laughed aloud, the sound echoing through the kitchen. Barbara Jean with her trainer? I mean, sure, he is probably a better man than you are, better looking and younger. But that is it, Brock interrupted, stepping closer to her. Reba, I need you to help me out. I want you to go down to the gym and see if there is anything going on. You know, spy on him for me. Reba immediately crossed her arms, shaking her head vigorously. No way, completely serious and incredibly tender. Cheyenne, put that down, Van said softly, his voice full of genuine love. Listen to me. I think it is a good thing that when I look at you, I do not see the beautiful girl with the killer body. I see my wife, and I am attracted to her whether she is all dressed up, ready to go out or just sitting on the couch wearing those washed-up flannel pajamas. Cheyenne's eyes filled with tears. She looked up at him, her heart swelling with an emotion so powerful it took her breath away. Really? Yeah, Van affirmed, raising a hand to gently cup her cheek, his thumb brushing away a stray tear. You are beautiful to me because of who you are. Cheyenne let out a wet, genuine laugh, leaning into his touch. Ah, I feel kinda stupid. Van smiled, leaning down to press a soft, loving kiss to her forehead. That is also who you are, and I love it. He took her hand, lacing his fingers through hers. Come on, you. Cheyenne sniffled, a bright, happy smile replacing her tears. She let him lead her out of the room. Where are we going? Oh, we are going upstairs, Van said with a playful waggle of his eyebrows. Cheyenne stopped, pulling him back gently. She tilted her head, a mischievous twinkle in her eye. Hold on. I thought you did not want me to leave you alone. Sometimes I want to feel new pretty. Van laughed, a rich, warm sound that filled the hallway, as he pulled his wife into a tight, secure embrace, proving that no matter how much people might change on the outside, the love that held their chaotic, wonderful family together would always remain exactly the same. The morning sun filtered through the sheer curtains of the kitchen window, casting a warm, golden glow across the meticulously clean countertops. It was a typical morning in the household, filled with the familiar, chaotic energy of a family trying to navigate the complexities of daily life together. Reba stood near the kitchen island, her hands resting on the cool marble, letting out a slow, deliberate breath. The house was quiet for a fleeting moment, but the evidence of recent destruction was everywhere. The pantry door was slightly ajar, revealing bare shelves that had been fully stocked only 24 hours prior. Van, leaning casually against the refrigerator, crossed his arms and shook his head in absolute disbelief. He stared at the empty space where a massive box of cereal had once sat. That woman is out of control, Van declared, his voice filled with a mixture of awe and gentle frustration. She is like a locust. She has eaten everything in the house. Cheyenne, sitting at the kitchen table with a cup of herbal tea, nodded in agreement. She picked up a small glass object from the center of the table and held it up to the light. She has eaten everything in Mr. H's house. Look, even the salt and pepper shakers are empty. Why do you not just tell her she has eaten too much? Van immediately took a step back, his eyes widening with feigned terror. He raised his hands defensively. You tell her. Cheyenne scoffed, setting the empty pepper shaker down with a soft click. No, you tell her. Rock, paper, scissors. Ben, you know you are going to lose. Young Ben, who had been quietly observing the adults from the corner of the room, stepped forward with an expression of fierce determination. He narrowed his eyes at Van, rolling up his sleeves as if preparing for a major athletic event. Not this time, Ben said confidently. They faced off, the tension in the kitchen mounting as they prepared for the ultimate test of strategy. 1, 2, 3. Van presented a flat hand, representing paper. Ben, to the surprise of absolutely no one, extended 2 fingers in the shape of scissors. Wait, Van had paper, so Ben's scissors should have won. But Van quickly changed his hand to a rock, crushing the imaginary scissors. Dang it, Ben sighed, dropping his shoulders in defeat. How do you always beat me? Van grinned, clapping the young boy on the shoulder. Because you always pick scissors. Of course I do, it is my system, Ben explained, completely serious about his deeply flawed strategy. He looked up at Van with hopeful eyes. So you will tell her?
Van S' smile vanished instantly.
He looked toward the hallway, as if expecting the formidable Mrs. H to appear at any second. Yeah, fine, he muttered, before his courage completely abandoned him. No, I do not want to. Cheyenne rolled her eyes, pushing her chair back from the table. You tell her. Come on, you tell her. Please, please, please. No, Ben, why should I tell her? Van asked, trying to deflect the responsibility back to the youth. Because girls can say that kind of stuff without having to come across like all they care about are looks. By the way, you have been looking hot lately. Cheyenne blushed, a soft smile spreading across her face. The sincere compliment from her husband brought a sudden wave of warmth to her heart. Oh, you? She giggled, the argument entirely forgotten. Reba, who had been silently watching the entire exchange, finally decided to intervene. She knew that if she left it to these three, nothing would ever get resolved. She walked over to the table, her presence instantly bringing a sense of order to the room. Look, sweetie, why do I not tell her? Cheyenne beamed with relief. Thank you. Before Reba could formulate a plan on how to approach the delicate subject of overeating, the front door swung open with a dramatic creak. Heavy, joyous footsteps echoed through the foyer. A booming, cheerful voice preceded the arrival of the person they had just been discussing. Hey, 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 Barbara Jean announced as she practically danced into the kitchen. She was carrying a massive, greasy cardboard box that radiated the unmistakable aroma of melted cheese and baked dough. Guess who Luigi gave the free pizza to? Luigi does not have to roll it out of the bed every morning. Brock followed closely behind her, looking simultaneously exhausted and deeply concerned. He ran a hand through his hair, his eyes fixed on the enormous pizza box. You know, Mom, we really do not need another pizza. I mean, it is really just the three of us. Barbara Jean waved her hand dismissively, completely unfazed by his logical argument. She placed the box on the counter with a triumphant thud. Oh, I know, but I had to take it. It was free. Somebody will eat it. Van's eyes lit up immediately. He practically leaped across the kitchen. Oh, dibs. Brock let out a heavy sigh, leaning against the counter. He looked at Barbara Jean, his expression reflecting a deep, protective worry. You know what, Mom? I am thinking maybe we should all try and get a little healthier around here. Barbara Jean stopped mid-motion, a look of genuine confusion crossing her face. She looked down at herself, then back at Brock. What are you talking about? I am very healthy. Brock could not contain his frustration any longer. His voice rose slightly, filled with an anxious edge. All right, that is it, Mrs. H. Drop it, Mrs. H. Drop it, drop it, drop it, drop it. Mrs. H. I cannot stand to see you do this to yourself. It is like you are trying to eat yourself to death. Why? What happened to you? What is different? Suddenly, the lighting in the room seemed to shift. The warm morning sun was replaced by a strange, ethereal glow. The kitchen dissolved away, and a feeling of profound disorientation washed over the scene. A voice echoed from the void, bright, piercing, and completely unexpected. You who? I am here, and I am thin. Brock stared in absolute horror. In front of him stood a bizarre, distorted version of reality. Yeah, thin is a stick and dumb is one, a voice echoed. Brock looked around frantically. Yikes! What is eating Cooper grape? Look at that. They look like the number 10. With a sudden jolt, Brock sat up straight in his chair, his heart pounding against his ribs. The bizarre images faded away, replaced by the familiar surroundings of his own living room. He wiped a bead of cold sweat from his forehead, letting out a long, shaky breath. Oh, thank God it was just a nightmare. But his relief was short-lived. At that exact moment, the front door swung open in reality. You who? I am here, and I am thin. Brock closed his eyes, his shoulders slumping in defeat. And the nightmare continues. The transition in their lives had been sudden and overwhelming. As Reba stood in the kitchen later that morning, she found herself reflecting on the rapid changes happening around her. A quiet melody played on the small radio by the sink, the lyrics perfectly mirroring her internal state. My roots are planted in the past, though my life is changing fast. Who I am is who I want to be. A single mom who works too hard, who loves her kids and never stops, with gentle hands and the heart of a fighter. I am a survivor. Ben wandered into the kitchen, rubbing his sleepy eyes. He looked up at Reba with an expression of pure, innocent hope. Mom, make us some pancakes. Reba shook her head firmly, determined to instill a sense of discipline and health in her household. No. I am making everyone a power smoothie. And this afternoon, I am taking a power walk. Van, who had just walked in and heard the grand announcement, chuckled under his breath. He grabbed a mug from the cupboard. Power walk? Oh, Forget your power cane. Cheyenne immediately came to her mother's defense, swatting Van gently on the arm. Van, that is not nice. Mom does aerobics.
Van smirked, completely unapologetic.
She could shatter her hip. Reba paused the blender, turning to give Van a look that was both stern and deeply amused. She possessed a quiet authority that commanded instant respect. And yet, in the blink of an eye, I can make you both homeless. Before Van could formulate an apology, the unmistakable sound of energetic footsteps approached the kitchen. Barbara Jean burst into the room, radiating an entirely new level of confidence. She was dressed in bright, tight-fitting workout gear that highlighted her dramatic physical transformation. She looked radiant, energetic, and completely different from the woman who used to bring home free pizzas. "Hey, everybody," Barbara Jean sang out, twirling around to show off her new figure. "I am here and I am." "Oh, shut up and have a donut," Reba interrupted dryly, pushing a plate of pastries toward the center of the island, though she herself refused to touch them. Barbara Jean gasped, placing a hand over her heart as if she had been physically struck. She looked at Reba's blender with absolute disdain. "Oh, Reba, you are not still trying to lose weight by drinking those power smoothies, are you? Jordan, my trainer, says that those are loaded with hidden carbs." Reba forced a tight smile, trying to maintain her patience. She was genuinely happy for Barbara Jean's success, but the constant lecturing was beginning to wear thin. "Barbara Jean, I am all for adopting a healthy new lifestyle, but seriously, there has to be some sort of..." She paused, noticing that Van was staring at Barbara Jean with his mouth slightly open. Reba snapped her fingers in front of his face. "Will you stop staring at her?" Van blinked, shaking his head as if waking from a trance. "What? We have been staring at her for, the past 2 hours." Cheyenne frowned, feeling a sudden prick of insecurity. She looked at Barbara Jean, then back at her husband. "Well, she is pretty." Barbara Jean tossed her hair over her shoulder, a gesture of profound self-assurance. "I am pretty," Reba sighed, pouring the thick, green smoothie into a glass. "Well, of course you are. You have always been pretty. But she is new pretty." "Oh, Van, that is such a funny story you can tell to your next wife," Reba said, directing a sharp look at her son-in-law, warning him to tread carefully around Cheyenne's feelings. Van completely missed the warning. He looked at Barbara Jean with absolute sincerity. "Van, you really think that I am new pretty?" Barbara Jean asked, fishing for more compliments. "Oh, yeah," Van nodded vigorously. "You are like a bleached-out Halle Berry." Barbara Jean beamed, her ego inflating to the size of a hot air balloon. "Thank you." "You are welcome," Van replied happily. "I am going to go make some calls." As Van left the room, Ben walked up to Barbara Jean, staring up at her with profound curiosity. "So, Barbara Jean." "Yeah?" she replied, leaning down to his level. "Is it true that when you lose a bunch of weight, you want to do,
Bounce ka bounce.
Reba nearly dropped her glass. Cheyenne gasped, her insecurity flaring up again. "Van." Van quickly popped his head back into the kitchen, realizing his mistake. He rushed over to Cheyenne, putting his arms around her. "Oh, Cheyenne, do not be upset. You are still hot. You are like a bleached-out Jan Brady."
Januari Jan Brady.
Cheyenne crossed her arms, completely unamused by the comparison. "I am Marcia."
Marcia, Marcia, Marcia.
Barbara Jean, completely oblivious to the marital tension she was causing, turned her attention back to Reba. She clapped her hands together enthusiastically. "So, Reba, I got an idea. You should come down to the gymnasium and meet Jordan, my trainer. Seriously, he will change your life. He is so much more than a personal trainer. He taught me how to work out and eat right. We go over the clothes I am going to wear, the movies I am going to see." Reba raised an eyebrow, taking a sip of her unpleasant green drink. "Whoa, the movies you are going to see? What has that got to do with you getting in shape?" Barbara Jean giggled, a bright, bubbly sound that echoed through the kitchen. Oh, nothing. We just have the same sense of humor. That Tim Allen just kills us. I mean, whether he is playing a dog or Santa Claus, you just buy it. So, you will come meet Jordan. Reba shook her head firmly. She had no interest in entering that world of sweat and excessive enthusiasm.
No.
Barbara Jean pouted, stepping closer to her friend. Oh, come on, Reba. I want my best girlfriend to meet my best boyfriend. Boyfriend? Oh, whoops. That came out wrong. Reba stared at her, her protective instincts suddenly kicking in. Was Barbara Jean actually having an affair? She decided to brush it off for the moment. Oh, well, thanks anyway. But I am just going to be here with my smoothie. Delicious. Just like fruit gravy. Later that afternoon, Brock wandered into the living room, looking deeply troubled. He paced back and forth, his hands shoved deep into his pockets. When Barbara Jean walked past him, heading toward the front door with her gym bag, he stopped her. Oh, hey, Barbara Jean. Here you are, Brock said, trying to sound casual, though the anxiety in his voice was palpable. Listen, how would you like to go out and grab a quick lunch? Just the two of us? Barbara Jean looked at her watch, shaking her head. Oh, honey, I cannot. I am going to the gymnasium. Brock stepped closer, his voice pleading. Well, cannot you skip it just this once? Come on. I will take you to that romantic French place you like so much. Barbara Jean's eyes widened in horror. Really? Skip the gymnasium and eat French food? No confondu bras. With a quick wave, she hurried out the door, leaving Brock standing alone in the living room. Brock groaned, collapsing onto the sofa just as Reba walked into the room. He looked up at her, seeking validation for his growing paranoia. Man, she blew me off again. All she wants to do is go down to the gymnasium and spend time with Jordan, her trainer. Reba sat down in the armchair opposite him, folding her hands in her lap. She felt a profound sense of empathy for Brock, even if his jealousy was slightly amusing. Exactly. Frankly, I like the new but the new attitude not so much. Brock scowled. Oh, that is really funny coming from the old but. Reba shot him a warning glare. Brock immediately raised his hands in apology, realizing he had crossed a line. He leaned forward, resting his elbows on his knees. Jordan is so great. Jordan is so toned and funny. Well, I got news for you. Nobody is toned and funny. Reba sighed, trying to bring some logic to the situation. Rob, you are overreacting. Brock stood up, pacing the floor again. The physical movement seemed necessary to process his turbulent emotions. Oh, really? Yeah, I think she might be having an affair with this guy. Barbara Jean with her trainer? I mean, sure, he is probably a better man than you are, better looking and younger. But Brock stopped pacing and turned to Reba, a desperate look in his eyes. He approached her chair, his voice dropping to an urgent whisper. That is it. Reba, I need you to help me out. I want you to go down to the gymnasium and see if there is anything going on. You know, spy on him for me. Reba's eyes widened in absolute shock. The very idea went against all her principles. She believed in honesty, direct communication, and minding her own business. No way. You know, Barbara Jean may have a long list of faults, and I have that list if you need a copy. But she is nothing if not faithful. Brock shook his head stubbornly. The seeds of doubt had already taken deep root in his mind. Yeah, right, up until now. But now that she is thin and hot, she has all kinds of options. Reba stood up, placing a comforting hand on his shoulder. She spoke to him with the gentle authority of someone who truly understood the complexities of human relationships. Look, Brock, if it is worrying you that much, be honest with her. Tell her how you feel. Tell her that you just need a hug every now and then. Brock considered this for a moment, then let out a sharp, cynical laugh. Oh, now there is a great idea. See? Why, since my competition is a macho, muscular dude, I should go the other way and appear all weak and whiny. He threw his hands up in the air. Your solutions are ridiculous, Reba. Makes me to spy on those. Stupid. Brock stormed out of the room, leaving Reba alone with her thoughts. She walked into the kitchen, pulling out another container of her awful green drink. Hard to believe they are supposed to be good for you, she muttered to herself. Van entered the kitchen, completely unaware of the intense emotional drama that had just unfolded. He saw Reba standing by the counter, looking thoughtful. Hey, Mrs. H, you off for your power walk? Reba shook her head, leaning against the counter. Man, I love old people. Power walking, moving along, swinging their arms. Like there is a big sale for false teeth. No, I am not going for my power walk. This whole physical thing is getting everybody acting wacko. Van grabbed an apple from the fruit bowl, taking a large, crunchy bite. What do you mean? Reba looked at him, deciding to share the burden of Brock's paranoia. Well, your dad thinks that the guy who gave Barbara Jean her new body is wanting to take a 4-spin. Van chewed thoughtfully, swallowing before he spoke. His expression turned surprisingly serious. He probably does. Reba stared at him, taken aback by his immediate agreement. What are you talking about? Van stepped closer, speaking with the absolute certainty of a man who understood the fundamental flaws of his own gender. Guys are pigs. They are dogs. They are all animals. They just care about hot women. They are hot dogs. My point is that when you got a hot lady, you got to keep your guard up at all times. Cheyenne walked into the room just in time to hear the end of his profound speech. She crossed her arms, her eyes flashing with hurt and anger. I used to. Van spun around, his eyes widening in panic as he realized how his words sounded. You used to? No, baby, do not take it like that. It is just that I have grown into a mature, stable individual. That is all. Cheyenne was not convinced. The events of the morning, combined with Barbara Jean's newfound confidence, had left her feeling vulnerable. Well, I do not like it. She turned on her heel and marched out of the room. Van groaned, rubbing his temples. He looked up at the ceiling, seeking guidance from a higher power. Where have you been? I went to get something to eat. He muttered, entirely confused by the sudden turn of events, and wandered off to try and fix his marriage. Reba was left alone once again. Ben walked into the kitchen, looking up at his mother with a wise, knowing expression. Reba looked down at him, needing a sounding board. So, Ben, you think that Brock might be right about this trainer? Ben considered the question carefully, displaying a level of emotional intelligence far beyond his years. Sure, this guy could be hot for Barbara Jean, but since Barbara Jean is not looking to play, there is no problem. And it is obvious Barbara Jean is not looking. Reba raised an eyebrow, impressed by his logic. Why is this obvious? Ben smiled, holding up 2 fingers. 2 reasons. Barbara Jean is not good at keeping secrets, and she thinks of you as her best friend. If she were fooling around with this guy, she would be constantly talking about him to you. Heck, she would probably even want you to meet him. Reba gasped, the realization hitting her like a freight train. Barbara Jean had literally just begged her to meet Jordan that very morning. The pieces of the puzzle suddenly clicked together in a terrifying way. Meet him? Where are you going? Reba asked herself aloud, her mind racing with a million different possibilities. She untied her apron, a sudden wave of determination washing over her. She had a mission. She had to protect her family from this impending disaster. Go down to the gymnasium with the rest of the wackos. Ben grinned, saluting her playfully. All right, well, keep those arms a-swinging. The gymnasium was an overwhelming assault on the senses. The air was thick with the smell of sweat, rubber mats, and powerful citrus cleaning supplies. Upbeat, rhythmic music pounded from hidden speakers, driving the relentless energy of the room. Everywhere Reba looked, beautiful, perfectly sculpted people were lifting heavy metal objects, running endlessly on moving belts, and staring at themselves in the massive wall-to-wall mirrors. Reba felt entirely out of place in her comfortable, loose-fitting clothing. She clutched her purse tightly, navigating through the maze of exercise machines with extreme caution. She spotted Barbara Jean near the back of the room, lying on a blue mat. Standing over her was a tall, incredibly muscular man with perfectly styled hair and a brilliant white smile. This had to be the infamous Jordan. Reba took a deep breath, pasting on a friendly smile, and marched over to them. "Oh, hey, Reba. You came," Barbara Jean said, looking up from the floor with genuine delight. Reba nodded, looking around the expansive room. She felt a profound sense of intimidation but refused to let it show. "Yeah, man, there is a lot of beautiful people around here. You should see them naked in the shower." Jordan chuckled, a deep, resonant sound. He extended a large, calloused hand toward Reba. "Hey, Jordan." Reba shook his hand, noting his firm grip. "Hey, ready to start, Barbara Jean?" Yeah, Barbara Jean replied, sitting up. Jordan looked at Barbara Jean, his expression one of absolute professional admiration. "Hey, you look great in that outfit." Barbara Jean beamed, preening under his attention. She gestured toward Reba. "Oh, well, the other woman is getting kind of baggy. Can you believe her? She did the impossible. She lost all that weight and kept these fellas." Reba felt her face grow hot with embarrassment. She did not know where to look. "Oh. Okay, Jordan, this is my friend, Reba." "Hey, I am Jordan," he repeated, flashing another brilliant smile. "I am Reba," she replied, trying to maintain her composure. Jordan placed his hands on his hips, radiating pure athletic energy. "So, you going to join us, Reba?" Reba took a step back, shaking her head vigorously. The thought of engaging in physical exertion in this environment was terrifying. "Oh, I do not know. I just think that me and my fellows will just watch for a while." Jordan frowned, his professional instincts taking over. He believed passionately in the transformative power of fitness. "Well, Reba, you are not going to get into shape by just watching. You need to sweat a little." Reba held her ground, refusing to be bullied into a workout. "Yeah, but you guys got to understand, it has been a while since I have been in a gymnasium like this, and I do not think." "Hello, there," Jordan said, suddenly turning his attention back to Barbara Jean, who was attempting to touch her toes. He knelt down beside her, his demeanor entirely focused. "Barbara Jean, you really are getting limber. Remember when you could not put your leg over my head?" Reba gasped, her eyes widening in absolute horror. "Remember when I did not want to?" she muttered to herself. She stepped closer, unable to believe what she was seeing. Is that legal? I mean, necessary?" Jordan looked up at Reba, his expression completely serious and devoid of any inappropriate intent. "It is critical to stretch the muscles out before you exercise them. Yeah. Otherwise, you could really hurt something. Turn over." Barbara Jean rolled onto her stomach, completely relaxed and trusting of her trainer. She looked up at Reba with a bright smile. "Reba, you need to watch this one. This one is my favorite." Jordan positioned himself above Barbara Jean, his hands firmly grasping her shoulders. He began to apply pressure, stretching her back in a way that looked both incredibly intense and oddly intimate. "All right, now this gives a good stretch to the back and chest muscles. Really should do this once a day." Barbara Jean let out a contented sigh. "Oh, I would do it all day if I could." Reba felt a bead of sweat trickle down her neck. The situation was escalating rapidly in her mind. Brock was right. This was a disaster waiting to happen. She began to fan herself with her hand. Is this one of these gymnasiums that has the heat on real high? I am sweating." Jordan finished the stretch and stood up, clapping his hands together. "Okay. Oh wow. Time for some weightlifting." Reba practically jumped with relief. Anything was better than watching that stretching routine. "Oh good. That is enough of that stretching." Jordan led them over to a bench press station. He loaded several heavy plates onto the bar with effortless strength. "Hello. Okay. Knock this out." "Yeah, okay. All right." Reba watched for a few moments, feeling entirely overwhelmed by the display of physical prowess. Her mission was accomplished. She had seen enough to confirm Brock's worst fears. She needed to get out of there immediately. You know, I think I have seen enough. Barbara Jean looked disappointed. So, what do you think? You have any interest in getting a personal trainer? Reba looked at Jordan, then back at Barbara Jean. Her voice dripped with sarcasm. Only if he takes me out to dinner first. Barbara Jean laughed, entirely missing the implication. Are you sure, Reba? Seriously, this is one of the best relationships I have ever had. Reba felt a pang of genuine sorrow for Brock. Oh, I think Jordan has his hands full with you. Jordan smiled, wiping his brow with a towel. He pointed across the room toward a massive, incredibly muscular woman who was currently lifting a weight that looked heavier than a small car. Oh, you are a beginner, Reba. You will start with Dot. Dot. Yeah. This is Reba. She seems a little tense. I would spend some extra time on the stretching. Hey, get down there. Reba did not wait to meet Dot. She turned and practically sprinted out of the gymnasium, desperate for the fresh air and relative sanity of the parking lot. When Reba returned home, Brock was waiting in the living room, pacing anxiously. The moment she walked through the door, he pounced on her. So, did you see him? What is he like? Is he little? Could I take him? Brock's questions fired out in rapid succession, a clear indication of his deep insecurity. Reba walked over to the sofa and collapsed onto it, exhausted by the entire ordeal. She looked up at Brock, her expression grave. He is big, but he is not as big as Dot. Brock frowned, confused by the reference. So, what do you think? Is there something going on there? Reba took a deep breath, preparing to deliver the bad news. She believed in honesty, even when it hurt. She looked Brock directly in the eyes. Look, Brock, I was hoping that I could go down to the gymnasium and check things out and come back and tell you that there is nothing to worry about. But Brock's face fell. He slumped into the armchair opposite her, all the fight draining out of him. That is it. Reba leaned forward, trying to offer some twisted form of comfort. Reba, come on. Okay, I do not know if they are having an affair or not, but if they keep working out like that, they might be having a baby. Brock buried his face in his hands, a sound of pure despair escaping his lips. Man, I knew there was something going on. Before Reba could say anything else, the front door opened, and Barbara Jean practically bounced into the house, energized by her workout. She saw Brock sitting in the chair, looking miserable, and immediately rushed over to him. Hey, everybody. I am here and I am saying, well, unei. Brock stood up abruptly, his anger finally boiling over. He pointed a trembling finger at her. Do not you honey me. Barbara Jean stopped in her tracks, her smile vanishing. She looked at Brock, entirely baffled by his sudden hostility. What are you talking about? Brock crossed his arms, his voice shaking with betrayed emotion. Oh man, did you honestly think that I would not find out about you and Jordan? Barbara Jean's eyes widened in absolute shock. She looked at Reba, seeking an explanation, then back at Brock. What? We were working out. It was perfectly innocent. Brock turned to Reba, demanding her testimony. Reba, tell him what you saw. Reba immediately held up her hands, backing away toward the kitchen. She had delivered the information. She did not want to be a part of the execution. I do not want to get involved. Brock ignored her retreat, focusing his intense gaze back on his wife. She said you are having an affair. Barbara Jean let out a sharp, incredulous laugh. Any more than I already am. She took a deep breath, trying to bring some sanity to the ridiculous accusation. Okay, Jordan and I are not having an affair. He is gay. The room plunged into absolute silence. Brock stared at her, his mouth hanging open. The anger drained out of him instantly, replaced by profound confusion. What? Barbara Jean placed her hands on her hips, looking at him with a mixture of exasperation and amusement. Reba, do you honestly think I would let a straight man grab my breasts? Brock's head snapped toward Reba, his eyes wide with horror. Excuse me. He grabbed your breasts. Barbara Jean rolled her eyes, throwing her hands up in the air. He is gay. He was not touching them. He was arranging them. Carry on with your lives. She turned and began to walk toward the stairs, feeling entirely justified in her actions. But Reba, who had been listening from the edge of the kitchen, finally decided it was time to address the real issue.
No, Reba.
Everything is not fine, Barbara Jean said, turning back around to face the room. She looked directly at Reba, her expression turning surprisingly vulnerable. I had no idea you were so threatened by the new me. The slim waist, the toned legs, the phallus. Reba frowned, thoroughly confused by the sudden change in topic. The phallus. The girls, Barbara Jean clarified. Oh, the puppies. Reba stood tall, refusing to be intimidated by Barbara Jean's newfound confidence. She knew who she was, and she was proud of it. I am not threatened by you. Barbara Jean crossed her arms, a challenging spark in her eyes. Really? Yeah, Reba replied firmly. Then why did you go down to the gymnasium? What were you spying on me? Reba hesitated. She hated lying, and she knew she had been caught. She took a deep breath, deciding that total honesty was the only way forward.
No.
Okay, yes. I went down to the gymnasium because I thought there was something going on between you and Jordan. Barbara Jean looked genuinely hurt. The idea that her best friend would doubt her loyalty was a painful blow. Why would you think that? Reba stepped forward, her voice softening, but her words remaining sharp and true. Because you have changed. I have not, Barbara Jean protested defensively. Yes, you have, Reba insisted gently but firmly. Ever since you lost all that weight, you are pushy and obnoxious, and you always want to be the center of attention. Barbara Jean stared at Reba for a long moment, processing the critique. Then, surprisingly, she smiled. Hello? I have always been that way. Brock, who had been quietly observing the exchange, finally spoke up. He nodded slowly, agreeing with his wife's self-assessment. She kind of got a point there. Reba let out a frustrated sigh. She was trying to have a serious emotional breakthrough, and they were turning it into a joke. Yeah, well, something has changed, Barbara Jean. Barbara Jean's smile faded, replaced by a look of profound understanding. She walked closer to Reba, her voice gentle and compassionate. Yeah, the way you guys look at me, I am still the same Barbara Jean I always was. I am just less winded. Reba looked down at the floor, suddenly feeling intensely ashamed of her own behavior. She realized that Barbara Jean was right. The problem was not Barbara Jean's new body. It was Reba's own insecurity. She took a deep breath, gathering her courage to make a difficult admission. I know she might be right. Could be us. Brock walked over to Barbara Jean, placing a gentle hand on her arm. His jealousy had completely vanished, replaced by a deep sense of remorse. I am sorry, honey. Reba just got me all worked up. That is. Reba stopped him, refusing to let him take the blame for her actions. She looked at Barbara Jean, her eyes filled with sincere apology. Look, Barbara Jean, the truth is I think I went down to the gymnasium almost hoping that I would find you doing something wrong. You know, anything. So I could feel superior to you and your skinny butt. So, I am sorry. Barbara Jean stared at Reba, entirely shocked by the confession.
Sorry.
Yeah. Reba nodded slowly. A massive, radiant smile spread across Barbara Jean's face. The hurt and defensiveness vanished instantly, replaced by a profound sense of validation. She clapped her hands together, practically bouncing with joy. This is great. For the first time since we have known each other, you want to be me. Reba's eyes widened in horror. She had bared her soul, and Barbara Jean had entirely missed the point. I do not want to be you. Barbara Jean ignored her, living entirely in her own triumphant reality. I know. It is even better. You want to look like me. She turned and danced happily toward the kitchen. Reba groaned, rubbing her temples. She looked at Brock, seeking some form of solidarity, but he just shrugged helplessly. Hey, where are you going? Reba asked. Just going to go grab something to eat. I will see you next year, Barbara Jean called back cheerfully. Later that evening, the house had finally settled into a peaceful quiet. The drama of the day had exhausted everyone, leaving a lingering sense of calm. Reba sat in the living room, mindlessly watching television. Ben came downstairs, his pajamas on, looking ready for bed. Hey, buddy, Reba said softly, patting the space on the sofa next to her. What are we watching? Ben shook his head, standing firm in front of her. No, we are not. Want a rock, paper, scissor for it? Let us go. Reba smiled, charmed by his persistence. She held out her hand, ready to play. You are going to pick scissors, are not you? Ben asked, trying to read her mind. Reba laughed, waving him off. Get out. Ben grinned and ran back upstairs. Upstairs, in Van and Cheyenne's bedroom, a different kind of resolution was taking place. Cheyenne stood in front of the mirror, adjusting a completely ridiculous, bright blonde wig she had purchased earlier that afternoon. She felt ridiculous, but she was desperate to prove to Van that she could be new pretty too. Van walked into the room, stopping dead in his tracks when he saw her. He stared at the wig, completely bewildered. Hey, honey. Hey, baby. I need to talk to you. Cheyenne turned around, trying to look seductive, though the wig was slightly crooked. Oh, honey. I just got the television. Van took a step closer, trying to understand what was happening. Well, I started thinking that maybe you do not think of me as new pretty because I do not do enough to keep your interest. Van immediately shook his head, his heart breaking slightly at the sight of her insecurity. He walked over to her, his voice filled with absolute sincerity. No, honey, you were way hot. Guilty. Cheyenne let out a small sigh, adjusting the wig again. But anyway, I thought that maybe I should, change my look every now and then just to keep things fresh. So, I bought a wig. Van reached out and gently pulled the wig off her head, tossing it onto the bed. He looked deeply into her eyes, his expression mature, loving, and entirely devoted. Cheyenne put that down. Listen to me. I think it is a good thing that when I look at you, I do not see the beautiful girl with the killer bod. Cheyenne's face fell. That was not exactly what she wanted to hear. I see my wife, and I am attracted to her whether she is all dressed up, ready to go out or just sitting on the couch wearing those washed-up flannel pajamas. Cheyenne's eyes filled with tears, touched by the profound depth of his love. Really? Yeah? Van smiled, brushing a stray lock of her natural hair behind her ear. You are beautiful to me because of who you are. Cheyenne sniffled, a small smile breaking through her tears. She wrapped her arms around his waist, resting her head against his chest. Ah, I feel kinda stupid. Van wrapped his arms around her tightly, holding her close. He pressed a kiss to the top of her head. That is also who you are, and I love it. Come on, you. He gently pulled back, taking her hand and leading her toward the door. Cheyenne looked up at him, surprised. Where are we going? Van grinned, a mischievous sparkle returning to his eyes. Oh, we are going upstairs. Cheyenne laughed, playfully slapping his chest. Hold on. I thought you did not want me to leave you alone. Van pulled her closer, his voice dropping to a low, romantic whisper. Sometimes I want to feel new pretty. As they walked out of the room together, the echoes of the day's chaos finally faded away. The misunderstandings, the jealousies, and the ridiculous assumptions had all been cleared, leaving behind a family that was perhaps a little crazy, but deeply, fundamentally connected. They had survived another day, learning a little more about themselves, and a lot more about each other, proving once again that love, in all its strange and messy forms, was the only thing that truly mattered. The morning sun poured through the sheer curtains of the kitchen window, casting a warm, golden glow over the familiar chaos of the household. It was a typical day, which meant that nothing was truly typical at all. The house was a living, breathing entity of shifting allegiances, sudden arguments, and the lingering scent of breakfast foods that had long since been consumed. At the center of the current crisis stood the kitchen island, a sprawling expanse of granite that usually held fruit bowls and mail, but today served as the command center for a tactical observation. Two figures leaned against the counter, peering cautiously around the corner toward the dining room. "That woman is out of control," a hushed voice whispered. It was a voice laced with a mixture of awe and profound concern. "She is like a locust. She has eaten everything in the house." "She has eaten everything in Mr. H's house, too," came the reply, equally hushed. A finger pointed toward the center of the dining table. "Look at that. Even the salt and pepper shakers are empty. How does a person even consume that much pepper? It defies the laws of human digestion." The speaker turned, crossing their arms over their chest. "Why do you not just tell her she has eaten too much? You tell her." "No, I am not doing it. You tell her." The tension in the air was palpable, thick enough to be sliced with a butter knife. The only fair way to settle such a dispute in this family was a method as old as time itself, a sacred ritual passed down through generations to avoid doing unpleasant chores. Rock, paper, scissors. The challenge was issued. "Ben, you know you are going to lose," came the confident retort. "Not this time," Ben muttered, his eyes narrowing in fierce determination. He raised his fist, shaking it with the rhythm of the chant. 1, 2, 3. Hands flashed out. A groan echoed through the kitchen. "Dang it!" Ben threw his hands up in the air. "How do you always beat me?" "Because you always pick scissors." "Of course I do," Ben defended himself, crossing his arms stubbornly. "It is my system. I stick to the system." "Well, your system is flawed, and it means you have to go talk to her. So, you will tell her." "Yeah, fine," Ben grumbled, taking a step toward the dining room before immediately stopping and spinning back around, his face pale. "No, I do not want to. A deal is a deal. You tell her. Come on, you tell her. Please, please, please." "No, Ben, why should I tell her?" "Because girls can say that kind of stuff without having to come across like all they care about are looks," Ben pleaded, his eyes wide with desperation. He then paused, his expression softening into a wide, charming smile as he looked at his older sister, Cheyenne. "By the way, you have been looking hot lately." Cheyenne rolled her eyes, though a small, pleased smile tugged at the corners of her mouth. "Oh, you." Before the flattery could completely derail the mission, their mother, Reba, stepped into the kitchen. She was a woman who carried the weight of the world on her shoulders but usually managed to do it with a sarcastic quip and a cup of strong coffee. "Look, sweetie," Reba said, patting Ben on the shoulder. "Why do I not tell her?" "Thank you," Ben gasped, looking as though he had just been pardoned by the governor. Suddenly, the front door burst open, and Van, Cheyenne's husband, bounded into the hallway carrying a massive, steaming cardboard box. He possessed the boundless energy of a golden retriever puppy and the perpetual optimism to match. "Hey, hey, hey," Van cheered, holding the box high in the air. "Guess who Luigi gave the free pizza to?" Reba sighed, pinching the bridge of her nose. "Luigi does not have to roll it out of the bed every morning. You know, Van, Mom, we really do not need another pizza in this house. I mean, it is really just the three of us," Cheyenne added, eyeing the greasy box with a mixture of longing and guilt. Reba shook her head. "Oh, I know, but I had to take it. It was free. Somebody will eat it." "Oh, dibs," Van shouted, immediately flipping open the lid to reveal a perfect circle of bubbling cheese and pepperoni. Reba watched him for a moment before looking down at her own breakfast, a thick, green concoction sitting in a tall glass. "You know what, Mom? I am thinking maybe we should all try and get a little healthier around here." Her mother, who had finally wandered into the kitchen from her eating spree in the dining room, looked deeply offended. "What are you talking about? I am very healthy." Before Reba could argue the point, her attention was diverted to Mrs. H, who was currently eyeing a stray crumb on the counter. "All right, that is it, Mrs. H," Reba commanded, using her best motherly tone. Drop it, Mrs. H. Drop it, drop it, drop it." Mrs. H looked up, looking slightly guilty. "Drop it," Reba insisted. Mrs. H, I cannot stand to see you do this to yourself. It is like you are trying to eat yourself to death. Why? What happened to you? What is different? Just as the philosophical question of overeating was posed, the front door swung open again, bringing with it a gust of wind and a high-pitched, enthusiastic voice that shattered the morning peace. You who? I am here, and I am thin. Reba froze. She slowly turned her head toward the entryway. Standing there, radiating an almost blinding level of self-satisfaction, was Barbara Jean, Brock's new wife, Reba's eternal thorn in her side, and a woman who had recently undergone a physical transformation so dramatic it defied all logic. Barbara Jean struck a pose, her hands resting on a waist that simply had not existed 6 months ago. She was beaming, her blonde hair perfectly styled, wearing an outfit that looked like it belonged in a fitness magazine rather than a suburban living room. Yeah, Reba muttered under her breath, her eyes scanning the new silhouette, thin as a stick and dumb as one. Van, who was halfway through a slice of pizza, paused, his jaw dropping slightly. Yikes, what is eating Cooper grape? Look at that. They look like the number 10. Reba closed her eyes tightly, pinching herself on the arm. Oh, thank goodness, it was just a nightmare. She opened her eyes. Barbara Jean was still there, smiling wider than ever. You who? I am here, and I am thin, Barbara Jean repeated, clearly assuming they had not heard her the first time. And the nightmare continues. Reba sighed heavily, resigning herself to her fate. The sound of the television drifted from the living room, a cheerful sitcom theme song playing in the background. The lyrics seemed almost mocking to Reba in that moment. My roots are planted in the past, though my life is changing fast. Who I am is who I want to be. A single mom who works too hard, who loves her kids and never stops, with gentle hands and the heart of a fighter. I am a survivor. Mom, make us some pancakes, Ben pleaded, tugging at Reba's sleeve. No, Reba said firmly, picking up her green glass. I am making everyone a power smoothie. And this afternoon, I am taking a power walk. Van scoffed around a mouthful of crust. Power walk? Oh, forget your power cane. Van, that is not nice. Mom does aerobics. She could shatter her hip? Van joked, completely oblivious to Reba's narrowing eyes. And yet, Reba said, her voice dropping to a dangerously calm volume, in the blink of an eye, I can make you both homeless. Van swallowed hard, suddenly finding the floor fascinating. Barbara Jean bounced further into the kitchen, entirely ignoring the tension. Hey, everybody. I am here and I am. Oh, shut up and have a donut, Reba snapped, sliding a pastry box across the island. Barbara Jean recoiled as if Reba had slid a live snake across the counter. Oh, Reba, you are not still trying to lose weight by drinking those power smoothies, are you? Jordan, my trainer, says that those are loaded with hidden carbs. Reba stared at the green liquid, suddenly feeling betrayed by her own breakfast. Barbara Jean, I am all for adopting a healthy new lifestyle, but seriously, I mean, there has to be some sort of... She paused, noticing that Van had entirely stopped eating and was staring openly at Barbara Jean. Reba swatted Van's arm. Will you stop staring at her? Van blinked, snapping out of his trance. What? We have been staring at her for, like, the past 2 hours. Cheyenne, who had been quietly observing the entire exchange, felt a knot form in her stomach. Well, she is pretty. I am pretty, Cheyenne added softly, almost as a question to herself. Well, of course you are, Reba said quickly, sensing her daughter's sudden insecurity. You have always been pretty, but she is new pretty. Oh, Van, Reba said, shooting her son-in-law a withering glare. That is such a funny story you can tell to your next wife. Van, entirely missing the threat, looked at Cheyenne earnestly. Van, you really think that I am new pretty? Cheyenne asked, her voice trembling slightly. Oh yeah, Van said, nodding vigorously. You are like a bleached-out Halle Berry. Cheyenne managed a weak smile. Thank you. You are welcome, Van said proudly, patting his own chest. I am going to go make some calls. He turned and jogged out of the room, leaving a trail of pepperoni scent behind him. Brock, who had walked in silently a few moments prior, cleared his throat awkwardly. He had been standing in the corner, shifting his weight from foot to foot, looking like a man who had entirely lost control of his own life. So, Barbara Jean, Brock started, his voice a little too high. Yeah? Is it true that when you lose a bunch of weight, you want to do, you know?
Bounce ka bounce.
The entire kitchen fell into a stunned silence. Reba stared at her ex-husband in absolute horror.
Hon.
Cheyenne yelled, deeply offended by the direction the conversation had taken. Though Van was no longer in the room, she looked at her father, appalled. Brock panicked, realizing his misstep. Oh, Cheyenne, do not be upset. You are still hot. You are like a bleached-out Jan Brady.
Januari Jan Brady.
Cheyenne's face crumpled. I am Marcia.
Marcha, marcha, marcha.
She turned and ran up the stairs, the sound of her footsteps echoing loudly through the house. Barbara Jean, who seemed completely unaffected by the familial drama erupting around her, clapped her hands together. So, Reba, I got an idea. You should come down to the gym and meet Jordan, my trainer. No, Reba said instantly. Seriously, he will change your life. Barbara Jean insisted, leaning in close. I mean, he is so much more than a personal trainer. He taught me how to work out and eat right. That is literally the job description of a personal trainer, Reba pointed out. We go over the clothes I am going to wear, the movies I am going to see, Barbara Jean continued, completely ignoring Reba's logic. Reba raised an eyebrow. Whoa, the movies you are going to see? What does that have to do with you getting in shape? Oh, nothing, Barbara Jean laughed. A light, airy sound that grated on Reba's nerves. We just have the same sense of humor. That Tim Allen just kills us. I mean, whether he is playing a dog or Santa Claus, you just buy it. So, you will come meet Jordan. No, Reba repeated, even more firmly this time. Oh, come on, Reba. I want my best girlfriend to meet my best boyfriend. Barbara Jean gasped, throwing a hand over her mouth. Boyfriend? Oh, whoops. That came out wrong. Oh, Brock, who was still hovering in the corner, visibly stiffened. His eyes darted toward Barbara Jean, a look of profound panic washing over his face. Well, thanks anyway, Reba said, picking up her smoothie and taking a brave sip. But I am just going to be here with my smoothie. Delicious, just like fruit gravy. Brock stepped forward, trying to sound casual but failing miserably. Oh, hey, Barbara Jean. Here you are. Listen, how would you like to go out and grab a quick lunch? Just the two of us. Barbara Jean looked at her watch, her face falling into a mask of genuine regret. Oh, honey, I cannot. I am going to the gym. Well, cannot you skip it just this once? Brock pleaded, his voice tinged with desperation. Come on. I will take you to that romantic French place you like so much. Barbara Jean gasped in delight, but then shook her head firmly. Really? Skip the gym and eat French food? No confondu, bras. With a cheerful wave, she turned and marched out the front door, leaving a cloud of floral perfume in her wake. Brock stared at the closed door, his shoulders slumping. Man, she blew me off again. All she wants to do is go down to the gym and spend time with Jordan, her trainer. Exactly, Reba said, setting her half-empty glass down. Frankly, I like the new but the new attitude not so much. Brock turned to Reba, a bitter edge in his voice. Oh, that is really frustrated. Barbara Jean obediently flipped over onto her stomach on the blue exercise mat. Reba, you need to watch this one, Barbara Jean called out from the floor. This one is my favorite. Jordan knelt beside Barbara Jean, placing his hands firmly on her middle back and pushing down while pulling her arms backward. All right, Jordan grunted slightly with the effort. Now, this gives a good stretch to the back and chest muscles. Really should do this once a day. Oh, I would do it all day if I could, Barbara Jean sighed blissfully. Reba was sweating, and she had not even lifted a single weight. The sheer intimacy of the stretching routine was overwhelming. You know, is this one of these gyms that has the heat on real high? I am sweating. Okay. Jordan finally released Barbara Jean, clapping his hands together. Oh, wow. Time for some weightlifting. Oh, good. Reba muttered to herself, feeling profound relief. That is enough of that stretching. Jordan guided Barbara Jean over to a heavy metal machine covered in pulleys and cables. Hello. Okay. Knock this out. Yeah. Okay. All right. Barbara Jean began pulling on the cables, her face contorting into a mask of concentration. Reba watched for a few minutes, feeling entirely out of her depth. The rhythmic clanking of the metal plates, the heavy breathing, the intense focus. It was a completely different world. You know, I think I have seen enough, Reba announced, adjusting her t-shirt. Barbara Jean paused, wiping a bead of sweat from her forehead. So, what do you think? You have any interest in getting a personal trainer? Only if he takes me out to dinner first, Reba quipped drily. Are you sure, Reba? Barbara Jean asked, her expression turning sincere. Seriously, this is one of the best relationships I have ever had. The word relationship struck Reba like a physical blow. She thought of Brock, pacing anxiously in her kitchen, completely convinced his marriage was falling apart. Oh, I think Jordan has his hands full with you, Reba managed to say, taking another step toward the exit. Oh, you are a beginner. Reba? Jordan chimed in, walking over with a clipboard. You will start with Dot. Dot. Yeah. This is Reba. She seems a little tense. I would spend some extra time on the stretching. From the shadows of the free weight section emerged a woman who looked like she could comfortably carry a small car on her back. Dot was built like a professional wrestler, with a severe haircut and an expression that suggested she found smiling to be a sign of physical weakness. Hey! Dot barked, her voice rough like sandpaper. She pointed a massive finger at an empty mat on the floor. Get down there. Reba looked at Dot, looked at the mat, and decided instantly that she valued her spine exactly the way it was. She turned and practically sprinted out of the gym. An hour later, Reba was back in the sanctuary of her own kitchen, clutching a warm mug of tea. The front door opened, and Brock rushed in, looking frantic. So, did you see him? Brock demanded, practically vibrating with nervous energy. What is he like? Is he little? Could I take him? Reba took a slow sip of her tea, looking at Brock over the rim of the mug. He is big, but he is not as big as Dot. So, what do you think? Brock pressed, leaning over the counter. Is there something going on there? Reba set her mug down with a soft thud. She looked at Brock, feeling a strange mixture of pity and frustration. Look, Brock, I was hoping that I could go down to the gym and check things out and come back and tell you that there is nothing to worry about. But, that is it, Brock groaned, dropping his head into his hands. Reba, come on, Brock pleaded, looking up with desperate eyes. Okay, I do not know if they are having an affair or not, but if they keep working out like that, they might be having a baby. Brock staggered backward as if he had been shot. Man, I knew there was something going on. Before the conversation could escalate further, the front door swung open again. Hey, everybody, Barbara Jean announced, strolling into the house looking fresh and glowing. I am here and I am saying, well, unei. Brock stood up straight, his face flushed red with anger. Do not you honey me. Barbara Jean stopped in her tracks, her smile faltering. What are you talking about? Oh man, Brock spat, pacing wildly. Did you honestly think that I would not find out about you and Jordan? Barbara Jean's eyes widened in shock. What? We were working out. It was perfectly innocent. Brock spun around and pointed an accusatory finger at Reba. Reba, tell him what you saw. Reba took a giant step backward, holding her hands up in surrender. I do not want to get involved. She said you are having an affair? Brock yelled, entirely throwing Reba under the bus. Barbara Jean gasped, pressing a hand to her chest. Any more than I already am? Okay, Jordan and I are not having an affair. Brock crossed his arms, looking completely unconvinced. Barbara Jean let out an exasperated sigh, looking at Brock as if he were a slow child. He is gay. The silence that followed was absolute. The ticking of the clock on the wall suddenly seemed incredibly loud. Reba froze, her tea halfway to her mouth. Brock stopped pacing, his mouth hanging open slightly. What? Brock finally managed to squeak out. Barbara Jean rolled her eyes. Reba, do you honestly think I would let a straight man grab my breasts? Brock's head whipped toward Reba. Excuse me. He grabbed your breasts. He is gay, Barbara Jean repeated firmly. He was not touching them. He was arranging them. Carry on with your lives. She turned to walk toward the living room, dismissing the entire dramatic confrontation as if it were a minor annoyance. But Brock was not finished. No, Reba, Brock said, turning his anger toward his ex-wife. Everything is not fine. Barbara Jean stopped and turned back, her brow furrowed. I had no idea you were so threatened by the new me. The slim waist, the toned legs, the phallus. Reba scoffed, finding her voice again. The phallus. The girls. Barbara Jean corrected herself smoothly. Oh, the puppies. I am not threatened by you, Reba declared, standing up taller. Really? Barbara Jean challenged, crossing her arms. Yeah, Reba insisted. Then why did you go down to the gym? Barbara Jean asked, her voice raising an octave. What, were you spying on me? Reba opened her mouth to deny it, but the lie died on her tongue. She looked at Brock, who was suddenly studying the pattern of the floor tiles with intense interest. Reba sighed. No. Okay, yes. I went down to the gym because I thought there was something going on between you and Jordan. Barbara Jean looked genuinely hurt. Why would you think that? Reba threw her hands up in frustration. Because you have changed. I have not, Barbara Jean said softly. Yes, you have, Reba countered, letting out all the frustration that had been building since Barbara Jean walked through the door that morning. Ever since you lost all that weight, you are pushy and obnoxious, and you always want to be the center of attention. Brock slowly raised a hand. Hello? I have always been that way. Reba ignored him, glaring at Barbara Jean. She kind of has a point there, Brock mumbled to himself, slowly backing out of the room to let the women hash it out. Yeah, well, something has changed, Barbara Jean, Reba said, her voice softening slightly. Barbara Jean looked down at her hands. Yeah, the way you guys look at me. I am still the same Barbara Jean I always was. I am just less winded. Reba stared at the woman before her. Beneath the new clothes and the lack of breathlessness, it was true. She was still the same overly enthusiastic, boundary-ignoring, strangely endearing woman she had always been. I know she might be right, Reba admitted quietly, looking away. Could be us. I am sorry, honey, Brock said, poking his head back into the kitchen. Reba just got me all worked up. That is. Reba shot him a glare that sent him scurrying back into the hallway. She turned back to Barbara Jean, taking a deep breath. Look, Barbara Jean, Reba started, choosing her words carefully. The truth is I think I went down to the gym almost hoping that I would find you doing something wrong. You know, anything. So I could feel superior to you and your skinny butt. So, I am sorry. Barbara Jean stood completely still for a moment, processing Reba's confession. Then, a massive, brilliant smile broke across her face. Sorry. Barbara Jean squealed, clasping her hands together in absolute